A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
And now, the Goldbergs. You know, when Molly Goldberg gets an inch head start, she can beat you by a mile. That's the way your mind runs. But right now, Molly hasn't been able to break through Margaret Way's veneer of sophistication or her intense hatred of her former husband. You know, Molly has an ingenious plan that well might bring not only personal happiness to all concerned, but will even aid the thousands who suffered from Way's misdeeds. But in the hotel room at Glastonbury, Molly gets ready to leave. She hasn't been able to get that inch that can start her off. And meanwhile, in the Goldbergs' house, a revolt is brewing. Listen.
What time is it?
I told you, Papa Doll.
Don't Papa Doll at me and tell me again.
Mom will be home soon, Pa.
She has sufficient time to be home since I told her.
Maybe she's walking, Pa.
Walking or riding. She should be here.
Well, if she isn't here in a few minutes, we'll walk over and meet her.
All right, Pa? Huh?
Get me some water.
You want some tea?
Papa said water.
And I asked him if he wanted tea. Do you mind?
Quiet. That's her fault, huh?
It's false,
Sit
Pa.
down, Pa, please. You're acting like a child, too. You're acting like a child, too. Is this something new? You should be used to all this by now. This isn't the first time Mama's interfered.
What do you mean interfering?
Someone is talking, let him talk.
Well, what Mama's trying to do is not interfering.
What do you call it?
I call it trying to help. And what's wrong with that?
Everything. Help people that want to be helped, not people that don't want to be helped.
No, I say help people who need help. But the people that need help most are those that think that they don't need it. And anybody with any sense, and anybody with any courage, and anybody with any faith in human nature knows that.
Are you through?
No, I'm not through.
Oh, well, continue, please.
Yes, I will.
Oh, what are you going to say? Come on, say it.
It's easy to help people who know what they want. All you have to do is offer. But when people think they're right and then they're wrong, then decent people try to help them no matter what. And that's what Mommy's doing.
Beautiful. What help does Mrs. Way need? What help does Mr. Way need? What help does Oriane need?
I'm the one that needs help. Nobody
The
else.
whole trouble around here is that nobody appreciates Mama.
Nobody is saying anything about Mama as a mama.
Everybody can be a mother, or everybody can love their own. But it takes an unusual
To
person.
be a mother to the world.
Yes.
That's enough.
Yes, it's enough. You're afraid to hear the truth because you know you're wrong.
Should there be an end to that?
You just want to hide your head in the sand and let the whole world exist as if it didn't count.
When you're finished with the lecture, call me.
You want a soapbox?
No, I don't need one to tell you what I think. You want to wrap yourself up in a cocoon and hide from reality. You're afraid of life, but Mama isn't afraid of life. She's not afraid to face the troubles in the world and do something about them.
This one is Mr. Way's affairs, the troubles of the world.
That's just it. You'd like to talk about big things because you don't have to do anything about big things. And you don't want to talk about small things because you might be able to help and that would be too much trouble. I'm ashamed of you, Sammy, and I'm ashamed that you're my brother.
Mama.
What's the use of calling Mama again? Why don't you trust her? Why don't you have the faith in her that a wife needs in order to be a good mother and a real friend to her children in the
Now
world?
stop it, Rosie.
I won't
Now stop it. That's enough.
Mama.
You don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about ideas that are all old to you.
Molly number two.
Well, if that's how you feel, Mrs. Ray, then I'll go. That's how I feel, and that's the way things are. You don't know Mr. Ray the way I do. I was married to him. You're thinking of the poor unfortunate man who went to prison. The poor man who came out of prison to start a new life. But that's not the truth. The only true story I know is this, Mrs. Ray. The thousands of people trusted Mr. Ray. He ruined them, and if he paid them back, all would be well. If he paid them back. Why, if he had the money, he wouldn't. He doesn't care about them. He cares about himself. He would pay them back. I know, but I won't pay them safe. No, it's safe to say it's because he doesn't have the money. But you have. It's mine, and I'm paying to keep it. But if you don't want him to marry Oriane, I don't. Well, then maybe if you spoke to him, if I paid back the people that you hate, will you give up Oriane and marry me? Yes. He wouldn't give up Oriane, and I wouldn't marry him. The whole thing is too ridiculous for words, Mrs. Goldbergs. You're very naive. Yeah, maybe. Funny, I always thought that people knew what was best for themselves. I see I'm wrong.
They do know. I know what's best for myself. Pardon me. Hello?
Hello? Is Mrs. Goldbergs still there?
Yes, just a minute. It's for you, Mrs. Goldberg.
Oh, thank you very much. Hello?
Molly?
Yes, dear.
Where are you?
I'm here.
I think you're here.
Yes, I'm coming directly.
You still ain't there yet?
No.
You be there any minute. And I'm going to you home. Leave a notice for the youth to find you there.
Yes, dear.
Yes, dear.
Yes.
I'm expecting you in the quickest possible time.
Yes, darling, I understand.
Goodbye. And I'm locking the clock.
Do so. Bye. Well, I think I'll go, Mrs. Ray. I'm sorry you can't see the reason of my idea.
Oh, if there was any wisdom in it, I'd see it. But you're asking me to better myself, to help my former husband's conscience. And in return for that, I am to have the honor of getting him back, of beginning a life together with him. Is that what you said?
No, but if you would say...
No, he wants to marry this Orion. That's all he wants.
Mrs. Ray, you'll pardon me. You're not trying to find the right way out of your past, Mrs. Ray.
There is no way out. It's blocked. All the roads have been closed off. He closed them with his brutal ambition and selfishness. He ruined me, my life, my hope. I wish I could do the same thing completely for him. Pardon me. Hello? Yes, one moment. It's for you again, Mrs. Goldberg.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm sorry for so much noise.
It's quite all right.
Hello? Yes, dear? I am, dear. All right, I will be home directly, dear. Yes. Did you make tea for Papa? I will want tea for that brother. Bye, dear. Well, I'll be going, Mrs. Ray.
My car.
You don't have to bother. You don't have to bother. You don't think that you could reconsider my idea? I mean, the only thing you would have to give up is money. I mean, if you paid back all these people, I mean, it would be a chance for you to do something you left undone when it was your duty to do it, if you'll excuse me.
My husband's lack of ethics is not my doing. It's his own nature. These people didn't ask me. They didn't touch me. He was the one. I don't care about them. My life is bounded north, south, east, and west by one thing. By Edward Ray. I want him to reach the full, lost, full measure of the unhappiness he brought into my life. I'm not interested in another thing in the world. That telephone again. Hello?
Mr. Wayne.
Mr. Ray. Send him up.
Mr. Ray?
Yes.
Then I'll be going.
No, I want you to stay. What's the issue? He's coming here because you're here. But please stay. I've listened to you. He asked me to listen to you. Now you stay and hear him. Perhaps you think I've exaggerated my feelings, that I'm wrong or foolish. But you don't know what our life was together. There was only one thing on his mind: success, ambition, and passion. He wanted to be the most important, the most admired, the most respected man in the world, and he didn't care what he did to achieve it. And I had to live with him then, knowing that he married me as one of the steps in his career. Well, I finished his career the day he went to prison, and if I can help it, he'll never have another.
Perhaps I should better go.
Come in, Edward. Come in.
Mr. Ray,
I've come here, Margaret, to make something so clear that you'll never forget it again. I've spoken to you more than once about it. Even Mrs. Goldberg doesn't seem to understand what I mean.
About what, Fibber?
I'm going to marry Oriane Gleeman. She wants to marry me, and I want to marry her. Our reasons are our own, but they're very usual. That's one thing. Secondly, I know how your jealousy and anger brought you here. I know how much you would like me to be unhappy and miserable all my life, because I made the unhappy and miserable error of marrying you. And now you know how much it means to me to marry Oriane, and so you want to prevent it. You've even gone to the point of trying to bribe me to do it.
Rancho.
Mrs. Goldberg said you'd pay back the people who once invested in my company.
But
Well, let me tell you something. You can't bribe me because I don't care about them. I paid for what I did. I paid in things worth more than money. In years, in prison, in silence and loneliness. I consider my mistakes paid up and closed. The books are closed. And from now on, I'm going to live for myself as if nothing had happened. And that means marrying Oriane. And don't forget it. You can't stop it. Either through threats or schemes or bribery. I hope you understand it also, Mrs. Goldberg.
Well, I think I'll go. No, don't go yet. Sit down, Mrs. Goldberg. Yes. Tell me about your idea again. Perhaps I'll understand it better. No?
And Molly can see that Margaret Way has seen how much Oriane does mean to her former husband. And now, nothing counts for Margaret except preventing that marriage. I wonder, will Molly try to take advantage of this bad motive for the good end she has in view? Could she? Yes, it's the Goldbergs.
The Romance of the Rancho. San Gabriel, 1771. Mission San Gabriel founded. San Gabriel, 1781. Settlers moved to San Gabriel Mission. San Gabriel, 1821. Christmas celebrated at completed missions. The Title Insurance and Trust Company of Los Angeles presents The Romance of the Rancho, a dramatization of the events and people who made early California history so colorful and adventurous. Our wandering vaquero, Frank Graham, returns tonight with the story of a Christmas long ago, in the days of the dawn. The most reassuring factor in this high-speed, hectic, and just now very troubled world is the permanence of most of the really important good things of life. The permanence, for example, of Christianity and Christmas. The durability of character and the primary virtues. The fact that right somehow continues to triumph, and that man's progress, however temporarily set back, in the long run is always forward and upward. History proves these statements, and here in Southern California, it is comforting to look back and see the hardships and trials that have been surmounted, the battles that have been won against great odds, the defeats that have been suffered, and later retrieved by those who have gone before us. Title Insurance and Trust Company of Los Angeles urges you, when listening to these broadcasts of the true events of the Southland history, to keep these thoughts in mind. The sponsors will feel more than repaid if these programs can help to strengthen faith and confidence in the future of our community and our country. And here is our wandering vaquero, Frank Graham, to tell us the story.
Buenas noches, señoras y señores. Tonight we're going to tell you the true story of the founding of one of the greatest civilizing influences in the history of our section of Southern California, the Mission San Gabriel, and the story of Pedro, the Indian, which is purely fictional, illustrating how Christmas might have been celebrated there a great many years ago. I'm sure that you will find it a story filled with the romance of the Ranchos. It was about the year 1770 in Mexico City when the great Franciscan friar Junipero Serra, Padre President of the College of Missionaries, announced a decision to one of his brothers.
Brother Junipero, we have awaited you at evening meal. We were afraid that you might be ill.
No, my son. I'm not ill, far from it. But this petition, it is very important, and I wish to get it to the Viceroy as soon as possible.
Important?
See, my son, upon the success of this, my life work must not fail.
Your life work, Padre. But I am...
About Alta California, Friar, of a chain of missions stretching from the one at San Diego to Monterey.
What? That wilderness?
Wilderness? But according to the diaries of our brother Juan Crespi, it is a beautiful land, rich and fertile.
But devoid of towns of any civilization. Nothing but great empty plains and heathen Indians. It would be a miserable place to live.
But, Padre, it is not for ourselves that we go into the desert. It is not for our comfort that we must think. It is those heathen Indians who call us.
I know.
Think of them, thousands of heathen savages, thousands of souls searching for salvation. We must bring it to them, so that they too may know the peace and the wonder of faith.
It is a most worthy ambition, Padre. But such a tremendous task. Do you think it possible?
Padre, the members of our order have always accomplished what they set out to do in the service of God. We cannot fail in this, and we will not.
But it will take many men, much money.
See, that is why I pen my petition to the Viceroy. With his help, I will have the money. And the men are coming. A boat with 20 new friars is even now on the seas, coming from Spain. See, my brother, it will not be long before we shall plant the banner of the Virgin Madre on the soil of Alta California and bring civilization and God to that beautiful country.
Junipero Serra's great dream of a chain of missions stretching the length of California was to be realized. The Viceroy authorized the construction of the first 5, and plans were started. And so it was that early in September of 1771, 2 padres, Pedro Benito Gambon and Angel Somera, arrived with their founding party at what had been chosen as a suitable site for the 4th in the series of California missions. Close by the banks of what is now the river San Gabriel, they camped.
Put more brush against the side here, Sergeant.
Hey, Padre. We will have it finished very soon.
Bueno. It is not a very imposing building for a mission, is it?
Not very. But it's the best we can do in so short a time. Tomorrow we can begin on a more permanent home.
See, but in the meantime, this house, made of the good earth and brush, will serve as the house of God. In it, we can begin our task of bringing the word of the Lord to these poor savages.
That looks like it may be a pretty big job. They don't seem so friendly. Look at them, just standing around at a distance, watching us. I wish I knew what they were talking about over there.
They gods, not men. See, they bring with them great animals, bigger than the deer. They ride upon their backs. The animals are their friends. Do as they tell them.
Yes, it is black magic. They must be bad gods. I say we should destroy them now. For they mean to stay here. They build house of brush.
But they do not look fearsome. Perhaps they are good spirits, come to help us.
No, the crow has spoken truly. These strange men with their animals must be destroyed.
Why not approach and speak to them? Learn why they come.
No. Listen. The gods of the mountain are wrathful. They shake the earth. It is an omen. Those strangers bring disaster. The gods...
Padre, Padre, the earthquake.
It will be over in a moment, Sergeant. Have no fear. You see, it fades away even now.
Padre, I don't like this.
My son, there is nothing to fear. It can do us no harm. See? It has not even disarranged a twig of our house.
But maybe the next one.
Come. Come. Let us kneel down and thank the Lord for our safe journey. May he shower his blessings on this venture which we here found. The Mission San Gabriel Arcangel. Come, pray with me, my brothers.
And so was founded the first site of the Mission San Gabriel. The Padres started to work on a more permanent building. And for a time, the Indians offered no opposition. Then one day, provoked by some incident...
I don't like it, Padre. Look at them. There must be 200. And they're advancing slowly on us.
See.
They're painted and they have weapons. This is the attack we have feared.
I'm afraid it is.
Soldados! Load your muskets. Get ready to fire.
Wait, Sergeant. Wait. There must be another way.
But, Padre, we can't just stand here and do nothing. If we are to die, we can at least die fighting.
Life, not death, is our mission. There is another way. There must be.
Well, we'd better find it quickly. They're coming closer. In a minute they will charge.
Let me see. What would impress these simple-minded fools? I might try the banner.
The banner?
See, the banner of the church. The banner on which is pictured the Virgin Madre.
Padre, I'm a religious man. The banner means much to me. But to these naked savages, it will mean nothing.
That we cannot say, my son. The power of the Lord is manifest in many ways.
Just the same, I would rather trust my life to the musket, not the banner. Please, let me fire on them.
No, not until there is no other way. Not until I give the order.
Look out, then. Here they come. They're running now. They'll start shooting the arrows in a minute.
Then, my son, I shall raise the banner and unfurl it. So. There.
Padre, they stop. They stop and stand gazing at the picture of the Virgin.
See, my son, the power of the Lord is mysterious, but it is with us, protecting us.
I cannot believe it. Look, they are falling down on their knees before the picture.
See, throwing down their arms.
And placing beads and ornaments at the foot of the banner. It is incredible. Incredible.
Not incredible, my son. Or do we not do the same? This is more than a symbol of good, my son. This banner of our church is an act of power for good, and it will prove the salvation of these poor barbarians and bring success to our venture. Thank thee, O Lord.
Charmed by the lovely picture of the Virgin Mary, the Indians were subdued more easily than by force. And for a time, the task of the Padres was proceeding toward fulfillment. Many of the Indians were baptized. They began to learn the language and the arts of living which the Padres taught. They made plans for more permanent mission buildings. But when the winter rains came, it became apparent that a new site would have to be found.
Padre, the water was coming up fast. It will watch us cut away in no time.
See, I had no idea that this peaceful little stream could be turned into a raging torrent so swiftly.
We had better get out. Move to higher ground. It'll be over in a few days, then we can come back.
No, Sergeant. We will never come back. For it will be the same every year. No, we must look for a new site for the mission.
You mean all the plans we have made, these huts, all is to be abandoned?
See, it will be better so.
Madre de Dios. Months of work.
But we must build on firm ground, where our handiwork may stand in safety for years, centuries if need be.
You are right. But the months of work.
Never mind, my son. We must be prepared to face discouragement and start again. Always we must have the courage to start again.
See, I will tell the others to get ready.
And so we say goodbye to the first mission, San Gabriel, only to build a new and greater one.
And they did build a new and greater mission, San Gabriel, upon the present site. First a small house in which the Padres kept their uncomfortable quarters. Then the great church was started. Around it clustered the homes of the Indian neophytes, and later the Spanish settlers who came from Mexico. Laboriously the work was carried on, and slowly the great mission took shape. Then, one day in 1797...
Ah, Padre. Buenos dias.
How is the work proceeding today, Sergeant?
Very badly, Padre. I don't know what is wrong. Only this handful of the workmen have appeared. The rest I cannot find.
I know they will be late. They're holding an election today.
An election?
Si, for alcalde of the mission.
Padre, what does it mean?
It means the Governor Navy has had his way. He claims that we were not meant to have jurisdiction over the Indians, that they must govern themselves.
Yeah, but it is well known that they are not able to govern themselves. Only a few years ago, they were naked savages.
I know, but the Governor has had his way, and today they hold their first election.
Padre, I don't like it. It'll mean trouble. Already they are too unruly.
See? Oh, here come some of them now. The election must be over.
Yeah. Well, they'd better watch out. I won't stand for any of...
Pedro, buenos dias.
Buenos dias, my son. You're finished?
See, now can go to work. Building hut for beautiful lady in picture.
A beautiful lady?
You remember the beautiful lady's picture on the banner, Sergeant?
Oh, see.
Pedro here understands that the church we are building is for worship of her and her sons.
See, hut for beautiful lady.
Well, if you ever want it finished, you'd better not waste time in elections. Get busy and build it. Go on, get to work.
My son, you must not be harsh with these simple children.
Padre, I know you like this one, especially because he's named after you. But he's one of the worst of the lazy wretches. He never gets his quarter of work finished.
Sergeant, you must remember to watch how well he works and not worry about how long it takes him. Pedro makes each brick with loving care. His is the work of a craftsman, and it is good work. That is more important than speed.
There. I might have known you would excuse him. He's just lazy, he and his friend Juan.
And you are impatient, my son. Too impatient.
Bah. And where is your friend Juan, Pedro?
Juan, no work today.
What? What do you mean he won't work today?
He not feel good.
But who told him he didn't have to report here anyway?
Me tell him.
You? Why, you
Pedro, what do you mean? How can you tell Juan he doesn't have to work today? You have not that authority.
See, me tell him. Me, alcalde now. Elect today.
Why, I'll put you both in the stocks.
No. Law says no touch alcalde. Me chief here now. No can touch.
Is that so? Just for that you'll get the lash?
No, my son. He is right. The new law exempts the alcalde from our punishment. We can do nothing.
You mean we must say nothing? Our authority is gone?
See? Perhaps it is for the best. I cannot say.
No. Nothing but evil will come from this. You'll wait and see.
And the effects of Governor Navy's new law was to bring evil to the mission. For the Indians were not ready for self-government under a strange and foreign civilization. They became unruly and insolent, and as more white settlers poured into the land, the simple Indians were easily corrupted and debauched. But work proceeded at the mission in spite of handicaps. The buildings sprang up, fields and orchards bore fruit, herds of cattle multiplied and thrived. The Indians learned the arts of the white man, tilling the soil, caring for cattle, weaving, sewing, making soap and grinding meal. But as time went on, friction between soldiers and Indians and settlers caused periodic bad feeling. It was at one such time...
Padre.
See, my son. Pedro. Sergeant. Why do you have Pedro bound?
I just wanted you to know that your favorite here is not so righteous as you think. I'm about to give him the lash.
What has he done?
He struck one of my soldiers. It was lucky he was not killed in return.
Is this true, Pedro?
Si, Padre Pedro.
Sergeant, I am inclined to believe that if Pedro struck your soldier, he had good reason to.
Padre!
I mean it. Those men of yours have been unnecessarily harsh toward the Indians. I cannot approve of it.
My men are harsh only when these savages try their insolent tricks. They have become impossible since they have their own elections.
I cannot agree with you. And I am not pleased by this action of yours.
That can't be helped, Padre. He gets the lash, nevertheless.
No.
Sergeant, I ask you not to do this. The Christmas celebration is not far off. In the spirit of that great anniversary, let him go.
He must be punished, Padre, or soon we will have no authority at all.
No. Me go away.
Out, kid!
Pedro.
Stop, you heathen! Come back here!
Pedro, come back! Don't run away! Come back! Well, Sergeant, what do you find?
So, at last you learn the truth about your precious Pedro. You'll be sorry to hear that he's no better than the worst of them.
You have found him?
No, he's gone all right. But I know where he is.
In the mountains?
See, my men have definite word that he joined the band of renegade Indians in the mountains. The very tribe that is always robbing us. So, you see?
I see. But the wayward son will return, Sergeant. I know that he will come back, and I will welcome him.
Pedro.
See,
Why you sad? Sit, stare at fire like dead man.
I think San Gabriel.
San Gabriel? Oh, no more home. You'll never go back. They kill you.
Padre not kill.
But soldiers. See. Pedro, you feel better when you ride with us out on raid. Oh, that's good. You don't feel good just sitting at campfire staring.
I no like ride on raid. It's not right.
Only Padre say not right. Chief say right. Chief better man than Padre.
No. I think Padre better man. He say not right. I feel not right.
Oh, you feel different when you try. You try once, then see. Pedro, they no want Indian at San Gabriel. They say you're bad. You forget San Gabriel. Can never go back. You bad Indian now. So you like us. You stay here. Go on raid. Feel better. Come see what things took on last raid. Come to campfire with riders. Look.
I stay here.
No, come look. Riders raid San Gabriel. Bring many things.
San Gabriel?
See? Bring many things. Come, look.
See? I come look.
Pedro, here things. Look, much food, sticks of gold.
What's that?
That picture paint on skin. Unroll, see picture.
One. That picture of beautiful lady.
See?
From church, San Gabriel.
See?
That beautiful lady built hut for.
See? Riders take at San Gabriel. Bring here.
No, cannot take. Must take back San Gabriel.
Pedro, you loco. Keep here. Maybe make blankets.
No, beautiful lady, take back San Gabriel. Must take. Padre say she great lady. Must be in great hut. Me take back.
Chief want you no take.
See, me take.
Pedro, chief no like. Kill you.
Me take San Gabriel. Give.
No, stop. Pedro.
Me take back.
Pedro, come back. You'll be killed. Pedro.
Down from the mountains ran a solitary Indian. Behind him came his vengeful brothers. Toward the mission of San Gabriel he ran. Toward the little settlement where even then the Padre prayed.
Our Father in heaven, on this great night, bless these children of yours. Keep them safe and happy, and bring them the peace and goodwill you promised for us all. And for the wayward, bring them back to the fold for this great celebration, this Christmas Eve.
It was Christmas Eve at San Gabriel, and the Indians joined in celebration with the white settlers. Great was the rejoicing, for after attending Mass at the church, the whole population reveled in games and dancing. The favorite sport of the children and grown-ups alike was to join in performing the pastores, or pastoral play, in which the players went from door to door, acting out the story of the nativity for each family at home. The children followed along with their own version, replete with the devil chasing the poor travelers. The performers, young and old, were then invited inside for refreshment. Dancing was the main feature of any Spanish fiesta, and music enlivened every gathering. The great fiesta of Christmas brought dancers from the whole countryside to join in the celebration. Beautiful clothes, dark-eyed maidens with flashing eyes, gay caballeros, all made the great hall a rainbow of merry color. And in another part of the settlement, another party gathered for a game to celebrate Christmas Eve. A great pile of candy and nuts was tied into a sack and hung from the rafter. Then, one by one, the young men, blindfolded, swung at it with a stick. It was a Christmas version of Blind Man's Bluff called A Piñata, and great fun for everybody.
Swing again, mi amigo. You will never hit it.
Come on, one. I'm hungry. Hit it.
He hit it. Ramble, there it is.
Once the bag was struck, its contents were spilled out upon the floor, and a mad scramble took place for a share of the tasty particles.
What's the matter? Why does everyone suddenly stop?
Look, senor. It's the Indian Pedro.
Madre de Dios. Covered with blood. Look out, catch him.
Pedro, what is the matter? What has happened?
Hey, tu padre. Senor, he's hurt. He looks very tu padre.
See, right away, Pedro. Make way there. Make way. Come, make way there. Padre, it's Pedro, the Indian.
Pedro, my son. Here, place him here on the cot.
See, he looks badly hurt, Padre. Blood.
Let me see. No, thank goodness. I don't think it's as serious as it looks. He's probably suffering more from exhaustion than from the blows.
Padre Pedro.
See, my son, what is it?
Me sorry.
It's all right, Pedro. You shouldn't have run away, but you've come back.
Must come. Bring beautiful lady.
Beautiful lady?
He was carrying this, Padre.
The banner of the Virgin that was stolen.
Beautiful lady. In great hut. Safe.
See, Pedro, safe. And she will keep you safe, too, in her great hut.
Me not bad Indian.
Bad, my son? If all of us strayed no farther from the path than you, this world would be far happier. My children, let us all kneel and give thanks for the return of a lost lamb to the fold on this happy Christmas Eve.
Tomorrow is Christmas. To all of us, Christmas is and will remain, even through the most difficult times ahead, a day of reverent celebration, an occasion for the expression of sincere goodwill toward our families, friends, and fellow citizens. In the spirit of the season, each member of the entire Title Insurance and Trust Company organization joins tonight with his fellows in extending to you the best wishes for a Merry Christmas. As a personal expression of this wish, the Title Insurance and Trust Company's Men's Chorus, a group of 24 employees of the company, under the direction of Charles Monroe, presents a Christmas carol, Joy to the World. Ladies and gentlemen, by transcription, the Men's Chorus of the Title Insurance and Trust Company of Los Angeles. And what's the program for next week, Frank?
Next week, we recreate something of the fascinating story of the Rancho Buenos Aires, the land on which the truly modern cities of Westwood Village and Westwood Hills and the campus of UCLA stand. Be sure to hear it. And now, this is your wandering vaquero, Frank Graham, saying, Feliz Pascua, Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. And until next week, hasta la vista, señoras y señores.
The Romance of the Ranchos, a presentation of the Title Insurance and Trust Company of Los Angeles, featuring Frank Graham as the wandering vaquero, is dramatized by John Duffel and produced by Ted Bliss, with special music arranged by Irwin Yo. Bob Lamont speaking and wishing you all a very Merry Christmas. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Campbell's Soup bring you Amos and Andy. Today, Amos and Andy received many Christmas greetings. Both boys are extremely happy and are looking forward to Christmas Day. As the scene opens now, we find Amos in the front room of his flat. Andy has just entered carrying a few packages. A small lighted Christmas tree sits on a table in one corner. In the back room, Amos's baby boy is asleep in his crib, and his little daughter is preparing for bed. Ruby and her mother have just gone out for a short while. You there?
Well, come in there, son. You look like Santa Claus there with all that stuff.
Yeah, how is your boy? How is
Fine, Merry Christmas.
Yeah, same to you. Doggone, that tree looks good.
Yeah, don't look pretty?
Yeah, wait a minute. Let me lay these packages down here on the sofa.
Oh, you making the rounds, ain't you, son?
Yeah, making the rounds, spreading good cheer.
Yes, sir.
Oh, boy, that is a pretty tree, too.
Yeah.
Got a lot of lights on there, boy.
Yeah, we saved some of them from last year, and then we got another new string this year and added on to it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Well, we just decorated that tonight. Ruby and her mama have gone out to take a few things to some poor people that they know here in town. They'll be gone about an hour.
Yeah, well, I'll leave these packages here.
Leave these, all of them?
Oh, sure. Here's one for Ruby. Here's one for Mama.
Oh, gee.
There's one for you right there.
Oh, thank you.
And there's a little rattle in here for your baby.
Oh, gee, really?
And here's a package for your oldest child, your little girl.
Oh, I certainly hear Santa Claus this year, Andy. Thank you so much.
Well, that's all right. I see a lot of stuff over at my place from your house.
Yeah, well, just like I told you, Andy, it ain't much, but we want you to know that we love you and we're thinking about you. You know that.
Oh, well, Amos, I feel better this Christmas than I ever felt.
Yeah.
By the way, when you open up your packages?
Well, the kids get up early, and, well, we all get up and start early Christmas morning. And, by the way, don't forget, you promised me this morning that you'd be here for Christmas dinner with us.
Yeah. Well, that sure is nice of you, all right, because the other Christmas dinners didn't work out so good.
Oh, they didn't, huh? Well, we want you here, so now we're going to count on that.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's swell. Sure. Well, I got to get going, son. I got to drop in on 2 or 3 people, say hello to them.
Yeah, well, I hate to have you rush off, Andy. Don't you want to sit down a little while?
No, I'll get going, son. Just want to come by here and kind of wish you a Merry Christmas tomorrow.
Uh-huh. Well, you know I wish you one, son.
By the way, you don't want to go with me now, do you? Stop in on some friends or something?
Oh, no, and I can't. I'm going on back now and see that the baby is covered up in the crib and say good night to Abednego. You know, she wants to know all about Christmas. She can't wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, well, that's great, son. Well, Merry Christmas again.
Well, same to you, and thank you for the packages, Andy.
You're welcome, Amos. You're welcome. So long.
So long, son. Bring forth the royal diadem and crown. Well, honey, you was in bed, ain't you?
Daddy, can I turn on the little radio for a minute before I go to sleep?
Well, just for a minute or two, I'll snap it on for you. Say, we let it warm up a few seconds. We don't want to wake up baby, you know.
Oh, music never wakes him up, Daddy.
Yeah, well, now, let me straighten your covers out a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
You said your prayers?
Oh, Mama had my prayers before she went out, Daddy.
Oh, that's good, yeah. Glad of
Paul
that.
Taylor Chorus continues with the Lord's Prayer.
Yeah, well, now, you get under covers, honey.
Daddy, could you get some Christmas music on the radio?
Why, darling, this is the very best Christmas music you could get. This is the Lord's Prayer.
I can say the Lord's Prayer with Mama. She's been teaching it to me.
Yeah, I know she is.
What does the Lord's Prayer mean, Daddy?
Well, it means an awful lot. And with the world like it is today, darling, it seems to have a bigger meaning than ever before.
What does the Lord's Prayer mean?
The Lord's Prayer, well, darling, I'll try to explain it to you.
Oh, will you, Daddy?
Yeah, now you lay down and listen. The first line of the Lord's Prayer is this. Our Father, which art in heaven. That means Father of all that is good, where no wrong can dwell. Now the next line is, Hallowed be thy name. That means, darling, that we should love and respect all that is good.
Oh.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. That means, darling, as we clean our hearts of all hate and selfishness and fill our hearts with love, the good, the true, and the beautiful, then this earth will be exactly like heaven.
Oh, that would be wonderful, Daddy.
Then it says, give us this day our daily bread. Now that means to feed our hearts and minds with kindness, love, and courage, which will make us strong for our daily task.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. You remember the golden rule?
Oh, yes, sir.
Well, that means that we must keep the golden rule and do unto others as we would want them to do unto us. And then it says, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. That means, my darling, to ask God to help us do and see and think right, so that we will neither be led or tempted by anything that is bad. And then it says, for thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. That means, darling, that all the world and everything that's in it belongs to God's kingdom. Everything. Mommy, your daddy, your little brother, your grandma, you and everybody. And as we know that, and act as if we know it, my darling, that is the real spirit of Christmas.
Oh, that's good, Daddy.
Well, darling, I guess I ought to turn off the radio and let you go to sleep.
Good night, Daddy.
Good night, my sweetheart.
Daddy?
Yes?
Will you leave the radio on while I go to sleep?
All right, I'll leave it on for a couple of minutes, and I'll come back and turn it off, and you listen to the Christmas music.
Tomorrow is Christmas, the day of all days when old friendships and family ties are renewed and strengthened. This year, more than ever, the real fundamental things in our life stand out from the trivial and inconsequential. The Christmas service at church has more meaning. The old words, freedom, equality, tolerance, character, take on new values. And most of all, we realize the importance in our lives of the people we like most. Some of us, just as some of you, are fortunate to have our families with us this Christmas. Some of us, just as some of you, have folks in army camps, on ships, or on foreign shores. But this Christmas there is a greater appreciation of family ties, of friends, than in the past 24 years. We think of you as friends of ours. And as such, Amos and Andy and I, and the makers of Campbell's Soup, wish you, with special warmth and meaning, a Merry Christmas. And Andy in person will return to you tomorrow at this same hour. This is Bill Hay speaking for Campbell's Soup, bidding you all good night. And inviting you to stay tuned in for Lanny Ross, who follows immediately on this station.
Are you there? Well, we're here. And we've got Abednego with us. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 ways better. Long soap.
Yes, sir. Lever Brothers Company, the makers of Swan, the new white floating soap that's 8 ways better than old-style floating soap, presents Paul Whiteman. The Swanee announcer, Bill Goodwin. Our singer, Jimmy Cash. The stars of our show, George Burns and Tracy Alice. It's the new Burns and Alice show, and now we take you to their home the night before Christmas. The tree has been decorated, and George has gone to bed. Only Gracie and Herman, their little duck, are still downstairs in front of the fireplace.
Now, Herman, it's 11 o'clock, and it's time all good little ducks were fast asleep. Herman Burns, you go right to sleep. Well, all right. I'll tell you a bedtime story. Then will you go to sleep? Now, once upon a time, there was a little girl. She was very, very beautiful and very, very smart, and her name was Gracie. Well, one day she put on her red dress that she bought at Magnum's and took a short cut through the woods to visit her grandmother. And on the way, she met a valiant prince. The valiant prince. He was awful strong and handsome like your daddy George. He was awful strong. All right, so he was awful like your daddy. But when she got to her grandmother's, the Wicked Witch... Wicked Witch. Oh. Remember the night we went to the movies and saw Edna May Oliver? That's right. Anyway, the Wicked Witch ate up little Gracie's grandmother and went to bed without even washing the dishes. Yes, she was very untidy. So they lived happily ever after. Now go to sleep. No, Herman, you're not going to get a double feature. Now go to sleep. And if you're a good little duck, your mama will take you way up to the North Pole to see Santa Claus. And the North Pole is way, way, way... Well, it's so far that you couldn't even get up there without a magic carpet. Well, he finally fell asleep. Oh, I'm getting sleepy myself. Oh, take Herman. The Santa Claus, the North Pole magic carpet. It's so hard to get these days. Priorities, you know. Oh, look. There's a sign. North Pole, 3 million miles. We must be getting near Santa Claus's workshop. Oh, Ducky, you get your Christmas wish. Lots and lots of fish. Oh, Ducky, you're going to get the best of Santa Claus. Because Ducky, he knows that you've been good like little Ducky should. Oh, Ducky, you'll make you happy, wait and see. Oh, hold on, Herman. Santa Claus has quite a knack for making things you break your back for. He has a great big sack for all the toys that you could quack for. Ducky, you get a swimming pool to keep your feathers cool. Oh, Ducky, you're mighty lucky, Ducky Wucky. Santa's workshop. Hold on, Herman. Oh, my goodness, I'll have to get the brakes on this carpet rewoven. Oh, gee, it's quiet up here. Where's Santa Claus?
Here I am.
You crying? You can't see Santa Claus.
Oh, sure I am, Gracie. I'm Chris Kringle in the flesh.
Oh, well, why are you crying? Did you forget to write yourself a letter?
No, the Wicked Witch stole all my Christmas toys, and now I won't have any presents to give to the good little boys and girls who brush their teeth. Or their feathers. Laugh and a whack, Gracie. Christmas will be a flop over.
Oh, why, Santa Claus? Be brave and strong like I am. Oh, imagine no presents for all little kitties. Oh, ducks.
Look, here comes Aladdin.
Oh, Aladdin, good. All he's got to do is rub his magic lamp, and then he'll get us out of all this trouble.
Santa, listen, I'm in a terrible mess. Hello, Gracie.
Hello, Al.
Listen, Santa, the wicked witch stole my lamp. She cast a spell and made herself look like Lana Turner. Then she offered to hold the lamp while I kissed her.
Oh, that's awful.
Well, that isn't the worst of it. When she got the lamp, she broke the spell. You should see the difference between what I started to kiss and what I got through kissing.
Oh, poor Aladdin. So the wicked witch tricked you and stole your magic lamp?
Yes, Santa. And what a lamp. All you had to do was wish for anything you want and rub it. Yeah. And out came Swan soap.
No genie?
Genie? Who wants a genie when you can get Swan? Why, Swan is a brand new white floating soap that's 8 ways better than old-style floating soap.
If you rubbed the lamp and got Swan soap, what would you get if you rubbed the soap?
Suds, suds, and more suds. Why, Swan gives loads of rich, creamy suds. And twice as fast, too, even in the hardest water. That's why Swan is not only great for washing the dishes, but it's also swell for hankies and hose and lingerie.
Lingerie? What's that?
Well, come here, Santa.
Oh, really? Up here we wear wet flannels.
Yes, and Swan wears a green wrapper with a white swan on the front.
Hey there, whose magic carpet is that parked outside in front of the fire club?
Well, it's mine, officer.
Well, you'd better be moving, and I'll be giving you a ticket.
Aha! And would a big, handsome lad like yourself, all decked out in a nice blue uniform, be after giving a little Irish Callion a ticket?
That laddie will do you no good. I'm an Eskimo.
Come, Herman, we're going. Well, we've got to get Santa's toys back. And Santa Claus, when I find the wicked witch, I'll send Herman back here. You jump on his back and fly to the castle.
Oh, I'm too heavy. It's impossible for me to fly on a wicked duck's back.
Oh, nothing's impossible for a man who can be at the May Company and bullets at the same time. Come on, Herman, the magic carpet is waiting. Well, we're off to find the witch.
Hey there! How about a lift?
Oh, now, who's that? Oh, it's the hitchhiker on top of that iceberg. I'll pull up and give him a ride. Well, how far my magic carpet? We're in a big hurry.
Thanks, lady. Well, I'm certainly glad you came along. What was that just passed us?
Oh, a couple of those high school kids on a piece of linoleum.
Darn those jalopies.
Oh, who are you?
Who am I? I'm the bravest man in the world.
Well, Flynn. What happened to your face?
That's not my name. I'm Prince Valiant.
Oh, how dear. I'm Gracie.
I'm the world's greatest hero. I fear no man. I fear no beast. Take him away. Take him away. Help! Help!
Oh, he won't hurt you. That's just my little duck.
Oh.
Herman, stick your wing out. I'm going to make a turn. You know, Prince Valiant, there's something very familiar about your face. Were you ever in vaudeville?
I still am. I just finished a split week at Lowe's North Pole.
Oh. Well, I knew your face was familiar.
Well, I'm thinking about a new act. I'm looking for a leading lady. Maybe you'd like to support me.
You know, there's something familiar about that, too.
I guess I should have stayed on the iceberg.
Well, I'll go to land and find out where I am.
Oh, look. Here comes a little boy down the road.
Hello.
Hello. I'm very hungry. Have you some supper I can sing for?
What's your name?
Little Tommy Tucker.
Oh, well, here, have a Swiss cheese sandwich. You can eat it and sing through the holes at the same time.
Thanks.
Beautiful dreamer, wake unto me. Starlight and dewdrops are waiting for thee. Sounds of the room passed away. Beautiful dreamer, queen of my song, let while I woo thee with soft melody. Gone are the cares of life's busy throng. Beautiful dreamer, awaken to me.
Beautiful little Tommy Tucker.
Tell me, do you have to sing for your supper every night? Yes, or the Wicked Witch will cut off one of my legs.
Oh, she wouldn't do that.
No, she only says that to scare me. Well, I've got to be hopping along.
Well, goodbye. Come on, Herman. We've got to find that Wicked Witch. Oh, I'll tell that Wicked Witch a thing or two. Believe me. You just wait till I see that Wicked Witch.
Oh, you would like to see the Wicked Witch, eh? Make guileless one.
Oh, hello. Nice day, isn't it?
Beastly. But I'm hoping it will cloud up. Little does she realize that I'm the Wicked Witch in the flesh. What there is of it.
Well, I'll see you later, Gracie.
Do you live around here?
Who knows where I live? One day a lonely castle in the hills, the next a crowded city street. Today a villa by the sea, tomorrow a mountain retreat.
My, how you do it? We've been trying to break our lease for months.
I've had enough of this shilly-shallying, me girl.
Do you know, you look exactly like someone I've seen in the movies. Now, let me see.
Well, is it Annie Sheridan, or are we going to argue about it?
Annie Sheridan? Oh, no, I'm not that silly. Oh, I know who it was. Shirley Temple.
Don't be fantastic. There's a good 20 years difference between us. And a few bad ones, too.
Well, it's been awfully nice meeting you, but I really must be going.
Wait. You're looking for the Wicked Witch, eh? And just what do you want to see her for?
Well, because I've got to get Santa's toys back.
Oh, I see. You know what the Wicked Witch will do to you? She will transform you into a pain-racked mass of quivering flesh. Then wring your pretty neck and toss your body to the vultures.
Oh, you're sweet. Well, you shouldn't worry about me. In fact, I'm a little worried about you.
About me? Why, may I ask?
Well, you're all alone out here in the woods, and there might be some men hanging around.
A man where? Oh,
all over. I don't suppose you could direct me to the castle of the Wicked Witch.
Just straight ahead. You can't miss it. The walls are made from bones of skeletons, and the cornices are decorated with human skulls.
Oh, I couldn't live in a house like that.
Why not?
No barbecue pit. Well, thanks anyway.
You're quite welcome. Little does she know that I have given her the wrong direction. The treacherous swamps lie in her path. Those swamps have killed hundreds of men. Damn it.
Well, goodbye. Come on, little ducky.
My, what a cute little duck.
Oh, yes, he's just like my own son. His name is Herman.
Oh, indeed. Little does she know that tonight I shall dine on roast Long Island Herman. Well, goodbye.
She's gone. She's disappeared. Come, Herman, we've got to find Herman. Where's Herman. Herman! Herman!
Gracie, are you still in trouble or can I come back?
Oh, valiant prince. Herman is missing. He must have been duck-napped.
Duck-napped? Then the woman you were talking to must have been the Wicked Witch herself.
Well, how do you like that? And she talks just like a Vassar girl.
Look, there's a duck feather.
Oh, and there's another one. Herman must be pulling out his tail feathers to leave a trail. Now we can find the Wicked Witch's castle. Come on, let's go.
Look, there's another feather.
Oh, I hope poor Herman isn't catching cold. Oh, look. He's got a blimp up there.
Hello, kid. That's no blimp. That's Humpty Dumpty sitting on a wall.
Oh, gee, isn't he big and round? He must be at least 65 cents a dozen.
Say, Humpty Dumpty, we're looking for the Wicked Witch. Will you come and help us?
I will, just as soon as I finish eating.
Well, when will you be through?
That's funny. Somebody asked me that same question 20 years ago.
Didn't you ever do anything else but eat?
I don't know. When I get home, I'll look in the diary.
Oh, please help us, Humpty Dumpty. The Wicked Witch stole all of Santa's toys.
Oh, then I'll go with you. And I'll take along this spaghetti to tie her up.
Gosh, you don't eat that much spaghetti.
Don't worry, it won't go to waste.
Oh.
Well, I'll call all my eggs together. Wait, I'm going to blow on this lamb chop.
What do you think of that? He blew the paper panties right off the chop.
All right, Ed, we're off to get the witch. Keep your sunny sides up.
We're off to get the witch. We're off to get the witch. Hi-ho the cherry-o, we're off to get the witch. We're hunting for the witch.
There's the witch's castle.
Well, what happened to Humpty Dumpty and his gang? My, how those eggs scrambled.
Well, don't worry, Gracie. The valiant prince will protect you. I'm not afraid.
How do your legs feel?
The legs? Fine.
Then I'll put you down. Oh, look. Herman's tail feathers lead right up to the steps. wanted him to leave a trail for us. If we get the toys back, he'll be a hero.
It'll certainly put a feather in his cap.
Oh, that's not where he needs them.
What a ghastly-looking castle.
Oh, wait. Here's one more permanent feathers. I'll pick it up and save it for him. Oh, he hasn't dropped this one yet. Oh, my, I'm glad to see you, Herman. Now, quick, you fly to the North Pole and bring back Santa Claus. Oh, and Herman, don't fly backwards. You'll catch cold.
No. If we're going in to get the Wicked Witch, I better knock on the door. Oh, she's gone. Come on, let's go.
No. Wait, Sergeant Prince, I'll knock.
Oh, it's a skeleton.
Sí, soy esqueleto y tengo mucho gusto de verlos por aquí.
My goodness, Mr. Skeleton. You shouldn't walk around that way. You'll catch your death of cold. You want to get goose pimples?
On me they would not show. I am the witch's butler. Come in.
Oh, poor man. That witch must be a slave driver. Look, he's worked his fingers and everything else to the bone.
Oh, no, senorita. The work here is very easy.
Then how did you become a skeleton?
I was a heavy loser in a street poker game.
Well, come on, Gracie. The witch isn't home, I hope.
She is expecting you. Step right into the torture chamber and make yourselves comfortable.
Will we have to wait long to see the witch?
Oh, no. She just arrived. She is outside tying up her bat.
Oh, was she on one?
See, senorita, while you are waiting, senor priest, would you like an arsenic and soda or a beer?
I'll have a beer.
Fine. Little does he know that the beer is spelled B-I-E-R.
Oh, my, what an adorable torture room. I'll bet she subscribes to the Witch's Home Journal.
Gracie.
Who is it?
It's Aladdin. I sneaked in here and got my magic lamp back, and I'm hiding in this tub of boiling oil.
Oh, well, just keep cool.
Well, don't worry. If there's any way to escape, the valiant prince will find it.
Come back from that door.
Well, it was locked anyway.
You know, the witch is not much of a hostess. She's forgotten all about it.
Forgotten you? Not at all, me pretty.
Oh, there you are. Miss Witch, I'd like you to meet my friend, Prince Sade.
Yes, I saw him once before at a distance, and it's still a shock.
Well, we've come to get Santa Claus's toys back. May we have them?
Patience, my pet. At the moment, I have other plans for you.
Really?
Oh, quite. For the next hour, I will twist the hair down the back of your neck. I will plaster hot mud on your face. I will pluck your eyebrows out one by one.
Oh, what do you charge for a manicure? I always pay cash.
I'll break your spirit yet. Perhaps it would be better to torture Prince Valiant first and show you how nasty I can be.
No. Please don't hurt me.
I will summon me ugly slave.
Yes, your wickedness.
Put Prince Valiant on the stretching machine. Now watch closely, Gracie, while we stretch his body inch by inch.
Come on.
Aladdin, rub the magic lamp and get some help.
I am rubbing it, but all I'm getting is swan soap.
Swan soap? What's that?
What's that? Why, only the first really new white floating soap since the gay 90s, that's all. Why, Swan is 8 ways better than old-fashioned floating soap.
Aladdin, will you rub the lamp and get some help?
In a minute. Look, Witch. Witch, see how white Swan is?
My, how good it smells. Come, Kruskin. Turn the screws.
Aladdin, will you rub the lamp? She's going to stretch.
In a minute. And Swan is pure and gentle. As mild as the finest imported Castile soaps. Just grand for bathing the baby. And so easy on your hands when you wash dishes.
Aladdin, hurry. They're going to break me in two.
They are. Swan is really a twin bar. Break it in two. And use one half in the kitchen and the other half in your bathroom for your tub or shower.
Rub the lamp.
And don't forget, Wishy, that Swan comes in a green wrapper with a white swan on the front.
Help!
in here, don't you think? Would you like a cup of tea?
Oh, I'd love some, Miss Witch.
Come, let's go into my parlor, little fly. That Prince Valiant is really carrying on.
Oh, probably growing pains.
Yeah. Shall I pour the tea?
Please. Oh, my. There's nothing like a cup of good hot tea. Don't you think so?
You know, you're a most unusual person, they say. I may call you Gracie, may I not?
Well, of course,
Gwendolyn.
Oh, of course, Gwen.
As I was saying, you're a most unusual person. You make me feel a little ashamed of myself.
Oh, really? Oh, I just knew you had a side queen. I always say that there's so much worse in the bad of us and so much least in the good of us that it ill best to behoove us to say anything. That's what I always say.
And somebody understands you?
Oh, yes. But tell me, how did you become such a wicked person?
Naturally, a man was the cause of it all, my dear. What else can make a woman's heart feel as though it would burst? And alternately her goose flesh and fever.
Well, speaking personally, a Welsh rabbit.
Perhaps. But I shall tell you, Miss Torrey, it begins some years ago at the turn of the century.
Which century?
I won't go into that. It was then that Christopher came into my life. Presently, the whole town was talking of Gwendolyn and Christopher.
Yes, go on.
Ah, what a man. He was like Tyrone Power, and just enough wise, Mother, to make him interesting. Enter!
Pardon my rattling, Senorita Witch, but there is a man outside to see you. He is wearing a red suit and a white beard.
Oh, it's Santa Claus. Come in, Santa.
Oh, Quasi, I got you.
Gwendolyn.
Christopher Kringle! You came back to me!
My little dream girl.
Ah, the love of my life. Here's your bag of toys.
Now I can make me Christmas delivery.
And I'll go with you and help spread the joy.
Oh, and now all the kiddies will have a Merry Christmas after all. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, the Valiant Prince, I almost forgot him.
Gracie, wake up. Wake up!
Oh, my goodness, George. Oh, I've been asleep. I've just had the most wonderful dream. Gee, you look short.
Well, come on, let's go up. It's 1 o'clock.
Herman is still asleep. You'll wake him up.
Well, give him to me. I'll carry him up.
Remember, folks, buy Swan, try Swan. See for yourself if Swan isn't really 8 ways better than old-style floating soap. And now, once again, George and Gracie.
I want to thank Edna May Oliver for appearing with us tonight, and in behalf of the entire cast and our sponsor, the makers of Swan, I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas.
And that goes double for me.
Oh, and triple for Herman. Good night.
Join George and Gracie in inviting you to tune in again next week, same time. Until then, this is Bill Goodwin saying, well, I Swan, why don't you?
Terry and the Pirates. At the Chinese Army's experimental gas laboratory, a large tank of Moy Ben gas exploded. And soon the nearby town of Min Chau, in the little valley in the Kunlun Mountains, was the victim of this strange new chemical gas which destroys everything made of steel. Now, in just a moment, we'll join Pat Ryan and Terry on today's transcribed adventure in Min Chau. Terry and the Pirates is brought to you by the makers of Libby's Pineapple Juice, one of Libby's 100 famous foods. Yes, boys and girls, the sponsor of this program of thrills and fun is the maker of a swell-tasting pineapple juice that they want you to try. But right now, on Christmas Eve, Libby just wants to say this. Merry Christmas to you, one and all. And now, Terry and the Pirates. The little town of Min Chau is in panic as Terry and Pat Ryan draw near. The Moy Ben gas has already settled down and is slowly finding its way into every nook and cranny, eating all things made of steel, causing it to crumble and turn to a crisp, gritty, ash-like substance.
I can smell the Moy Ben gas, Terry. There's a peculiar odor, eh?
Yeah. I remember smelling it up there at the laboratory when Hook gave a demonstration for Dude and me.
Smells like burning rubber.
Yeah, like burning rubber, only worse. Feel all right, Pat? I understand this gas doesn't hurt people.
Yeah, I'm okay. That burning rubber smell is it's pretty bad, eh?
Yeah. I think you could almost cut it with a knife. Up there, what's that?
Huh? What? That's what's left of a street sign with a pile of ashes.
It's almost unbelievable, Pat.
Hey, look. Look there, Terry. That building collapsed. Must have been some steel in the structure.
What can we do? How can we stop this?
Can't. It's too late.
Well, where are we headed for?
Look, let's get down the street to the army post. There's a lot of equipment down there.
Yeah, that fire off that way is getting bigger. The gas must have eaten into the steel connection someplace.
Yeah, there's no way of pumping water. The hose is no good without a nozzle, and...
We'd better take a look at the airfield, the hangars, the airplanes. If the gas gets into a plane, it's probably goodbye to the motor and all the instruments. I wonder what he's saying.
He can't do anything with these people. He's scared to death, and no wonder.
He's an army officer. If he understands English, maybe I can tell him what's happened, and he can tell the people. It'll calm him down.
Yeah, right you are. All right. Let me through. Let us through. Hey. Kai Hing. Hey, pipe down a minute. Let me through. Hey, Kai Hing, we got something to tell you.
Do you understand English?
Yes. I am Colonel Tu Singh. What is it?
I want to tell you what's happened. I want to tell you what's caused all this trouble.
Yes? You're the Americans who live in the cabin on the hill?
That's right.
Listen, I'll make it snap. A lot of new kind of gas has been accidentally released into this town. It comes in the Army gas laboratory up there beyond the town.
Yes?
Now, then there's nothing that can be done. That is, unless these people have things made of steel that they can bury away from the gas. Well, tell them that. Tell them to go home, bury everything made of steel or iron. The gas won't harm the people, only metal. And tell them to hurry.
Very well. It is so.
Come on, Terry. Terry, let's get over to the army post. Come on.
Look here, Pat. These used to be machine guns. See, it just goes to nothing. And over here, all this equipment. Can't tell what it is now.
Now, let's go on across the lot to the hangars. It's a good thing Dude isn't here. He'd be heartbroken. There's thousands and thousands of dollars worth of stuff for the Army, and it's all useless.
Look here, this anti-aircraft gun. The bolts, I can crack them off. It's like peanut brittle almost.
You see that old Chinese fellow with the steel-rimmed glasses? He kept falling off. He couldn't understand where the steel earpieces had gone to.
Come here, Pat. Look at this. This was an automobile not more than 15 minutes ago. I'll bet if you shook it.
Hey! English! All right, Tomato, English. You can't shoot at that gun. Yeah. Look here. This gun is only good as a club. Look, Look it. I don't know about that, but it's pretty nasty business. Come on, step along, Terry. Let's take a look in the hangars.
Gee, can you imagine what would happen to cash registers and railroad trains, roller skates and razors and typewriters?
This gas can cripple a town in no time at all. Think of what it would do to a steel mill, to battleships, elevators, office buildings. It's terrible. The most ghastly weapon.
Yes and no.
Huh?
If this gas can put war equipment out of order, how can people fight each other?
Say, there's a thought, Terry, and not bad. Hey, come on. Let's duck into this hangar and see what goes.
Hey, there's a fighter plane, Pat. It looks all right from here.
Let's get a better look, Terry. That Moy Ben gas is in here.
Yeah, that burnt rubber smell's still here.
Now then, lend a hand with this collar. Take a look at the motor.
What's happened?
Yeah. Gas has been here first. Look at this chunk of steel casing. Looks swell, doesn't it? Nice and shiny. Hand me that stick over there.
Yeah.
Now then, watch.
Golly, like breaking an egg. As easy as that.
Old Moy Ben did him so proud when he dreamed up this gas attack, eh? $50,000 plane blew so much junk.
Gosh, I'm shaking like seems like a nightmare.
Can you imagine what an enemy could do with this stuff, this gas? The Dragon Lady would just about run all of China if she had the formula for turning out this.
No wonder Kennington Hook was so anxious to get the formula papers and
turn them over to the Dragon Lady. She'd certainly run things with a high hand, eh?
Just what would she do, Pat?
Well, that lady has so many irons in the fire, I'd hate to think where she'd start. She's doing a lot of smuggling along the Burma Road, I'll bet on that. Yeah, and there's possibly some hijacking, too. Well, with that Moy Ben gas, she could cripple every truck that came along the Burma Road except her own outfit.
Especially during the rainy season. That's when the gas really worked, remember? Remember how we saw Hook mix the gas with water, or rather moisture, and then it really turned steel to ashes?
Think of what this stuff could do to a bridge. Troops would be stopped at all rivers.
Yeah, and I was thinking about powerhouses, water supply, and electric light plants. The big turbines would be as useless as these plane motors.
Talk about a blackout. This gas does a job on a much bigger scale.
But it's a weapon for peace as well as war, Pat.
Yeah, but that's not the way men are built, Terry. We spend as much time being peaceful as we do making war would be wonderful. But that's not the way things work out.
Well, here's a town ruined. The soldiers can't fight. They're alive and well. It could be better if the town is destroyed this way. As long as the people still live.
Yeah. People can always build a town. Wonder where everybody is. Not much use of worrying about all this stuff. It's no good now.
Boy, this is what I call knocking the props out from under a town in no time at all.
Yeah, now we know how important steel is. We've had a mighty terrible lesson today, Terry. We've seen just what could happen if... I feel just a little bit frightened for the first time in my life.
Yeah, same here. Let's go back to the cabin, Pat. I can't do anything here in Min Chow. I want to get away from all this. Min Chow's almost a ghost town. Only the people are here, but the place is worse off than if an air raid.
Well, men, what did you find?
Rather not talk about it, Burma. It's too terrible.
You mean a lot of people?
No, it's... As far as I know, nobody was hurt in account of the Moy Ben gas. But Min Chow is ruined. Few autos, few planes, the guns, and the all-steel equipment at the Army post. It's...
Well, toss your coat someplace and sit down near the fire. You don't have to talk about it. And for more reasons than one.
Huh? What do you mean?
Well, April and Connie have gone down to that little shack to bring old Dr. Moy Ben back here. I don't think we'd better tell him what's happened to Min Chow.
Yeah, there's no use saying anything. At least not until he's well enough to understand what's happened.
You know, I wonder if the doctor realizes how powerful that stuff was.
I doubt it. After all, they've been experimenting in a small way. This Min Chow business was the real thing.
You know, a doc must have a great mind to invent a gas like that.
Perhaps. Then again, he may have stumbled onto it by accident. It's the way most big things happen.
Well, let's hope no more big things happen. I'll never sleep a wink after this business. I say, some other kind of gas might escape, and that'll be the end of it.
Yeah, perhaps if we can't run away. I'd like to talk to Dr. Moy, Ben, and see what he has to say about the experiment.
Well, there's no hurry about that. I'm still feeling creepy from that visit to Min Chow.
Yeah. And, let's forget Kennington Hook for a while, huh? He's locked in another room. Dude's in there with him for a minute. I'll be happy when the Army takes charge of Hook.
Suits me, Burma.
Well, what else?
Well, as soon as you get your second wind, Terry, I've got a job for you.
What's that?
Oh, unless I'm mistaken, you and I cut down a very pretty Christmas tree a few days ago. Remember?
Why, sure, I almost forgot.
Well, that's natural enough. It's sometimes difficult to remember Christmas when you're 10,000 miles away from home, but... Well, here we are, you and me and Pat and Jude and April.
What's on your mind, Kitty?
I want Terry to go out and get that tree and bring it in and set it up in the corner near the fireplace.
Well, who's going to trim it and with what?
I'll trim it, and with what, that's my business.
How's business?
Now, look, you big hooligan. Maybe I do have a lot of wisecracks ready for the public, but I'll manage with the ornaments. Now, don't worry about that. I haven't forgotten I was a gal who lived in a home in the United States, and I had a grandmother who could do right well with a spool of thread and some popcorn.
Okay, I believe it.
Well, I won't fall asleep if I sit here very long. I'll go out and drag in the tree. It's about all the Christmas shopping I'll do this year.
Pat.
Yeah?
Now, don't laugh at me, but I'm just a bit sentimental now and then, and this is a now. A big now.
Uh-huh.
Well, I don't care so much for myself. I'm just doing without even a Christmas card, but I'd like to give April and Terry a little something.
I'm afraid Min Chow is having too much trouble to make it easy for you to shop for a Christmas gift.
Oh, I know, but I wasn't thinking of that.
Well, of course, but there's no use having a Christmas tree without hanging up a stocking and something to put in it anyway.
That's right.
So, you...
Well, I was in town, Min Chow, a few days ago, and I got a present for Terry, and Connie brought something for me when he arrived here. I'm going to give it to April.
Well, that's fine.
But, Pat, please don't laugh when you see the gift, will you? They may seem silly, but, well, it's Christmas, and I just had to come through with something. It makes me feel better.
Sure, I know how it is. I'm all for it. I only wish I could give you and Terry and Dude and April and Connie some little... If that's a practice flight by Santa Claus, I hope he doesn't land in Min Chow just yet. He might never get off the ground with his plane load of toys. No, Pap, that wasn't Santa Claus. No such luck. It was somebody who means no good to any of our friends. We'll hear from that plane again, even though it may not land in ruined Min Chow. There's a surprising Christmas story awaiting you tomorrow, and I want to tell you about it. So stand by for this first bit of good news. Once more, boys and girls, the sponsor of Terry and the Pirate wishes you a Merry, Merry Christmas. Libby, who makes that grand pineapple juice we tell you about, hopes you'll find just the thing you're looking for in your stocking or under the Christmas tree. Well, it's been a terrible day for Min Chow with the fantastic Moy Ben gas doing its worst, but Christmas is at hand. And I wonder what sort of gift Burma has for Terry and April. And then, too, we may at last meet the great Dr. Moy Ben. But most of all, let's listen again for that airplane, for it spells trouble and adventure on this transcribed program. So join us for sure tomorrow.
And now, the Goldbergs. Molly Goldberg has been talking, explaining, and pleading with Margaret Wade, but to no purpose. Although Mrs. Wade doesn't want her former husband to marry Oriane, he doesn't want to make any of the sacrifices for her hopes. The thing that's stopping her is the fact that she doesn't want to help Wade, but hurt him, and Molly hasn't been able to undermine that feeling. Meanwhile, at the Goldbergs, Wade is quite angry because Molly went over to see his former wife, while Jake is upstairs talking to him. Sammy and Rosie are in the living room.
Take the phone, Rosie. See my book? I'm answering the phone if you don't mind. Hello? Oh, hello, Amos. How are you? That's good. Huh? Oh, well, I don't think I can. No. Well, there's so much excitement home about Mr. William and Nora. Yeah, about their marriage. Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for my mother now. Well, she was supposed to lend me my form, and she forgot about it, and I forgot about it. Well, no, really. No. Well, if you're all dressed, I don't want to come over.
Where's my book?
No. I don't mind, really. Yeah. Oh, yes? Well, I'm moving to another town.
Next time you read my book, put it back where you found it.
Well, all right then, Gabriel. Yes. Well, I'm sorry, too, but have a good time. Oh, I'll bring you Christmas present over. What? Oh, but don't tell me. I want to be surprised. Yeah. Oh, yes, he is. Just a minute, William. Sammy, Helena wants to talk to you.
I'm not in.
Well, I said yes, Sammy.
Say no.
So how can I say no when I say yes? Do you realize that she's my best friend?
I'm upstairs.
Well, why can't you just come to the phone and say hello? You don't have to marry the girl. Hello? Hello? Well, I'm just calling, Sammy. Yes. Well, she's upstairs and... Well, is it all right if he calls you back? All right. I'll tell him. Yes. Bye. Just because you know that she likes you, Sammy.
Rosie, I'm reading, please.
Well, how can you read?
I learned how in school.
Oh, Sammy.
So why shouldn't I read? Why not?
What do you mean, why not?
That's what I said. Why not?
Don't pretend, Sammy.
Pretending. And why should I pretend?
You don't care one way or the other, do you?
About what?
So what am I talking about?
Well, I don't know. What?
Nothing.
Get me an apple.
You get it yourself.
Oh, what a sweet disposition you have.
Sweeter than yours, I'll tell you that. There's only one reason I'm glad I had a brother. One reason and only one.
And that reason is?
I've learned from you what men are really like.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, what are they like? I'd love to hear.
Selfish, egotistic, and moronic.
Oh, my.
Yes. Mr. Winslow, nobody was right and Mama's there. Oh, but and Papa went out without his coat.
Mr. Wade didn't want Mama to go over to Mrs. Wade.
But
Get me your mother on the phone. Get me your mother on the phone.
Pa, sit down a minute. Don't get so excited. Take it easy.
Give me one logical reason why your mother is so persistent. Why? One reasonable reason.
All right, Papa, darling.
It's not all right. It'll never be all right. It can't be all right, not until I put my foot down. Once and for all.
Why, you can't get so
Even
excited.
if I have to liquidate myself and my business and move back to the city. They'll take an apartment on the 87th floor where no one can possibly knock on my door.
Please, I can't.
Oh, of course, a house by the side of the road, and I would have peace.
Well, let me live by the side of the road and be a friend to men. That's what Mama's trying to do.
There's limits of being a friend.
Well, I don't think so.
Rosie.
Get me, Mama.
I will, but I want to say what I have to say.
Yes, Mama, will you?
Mama's only trying to do what she thinks is right. And if Mr. Wade doesn't think so, it's because he doesn't know what we know.
I said get me, Mama.
Will you get Mama and stop talking?
If Mr. Wade knew that all Ann didn't love him, he wouldn't even
Tell
love
me, if you don't take that phone and get me, Mama, before I leave my house,
Mama.
then do it.
I am.
Then do so.
I will.
The phone is over there, not here.
Oh, look out.
Well, you don't have to push me.
Well, who pushed you?
You did.
This one is just a push.
Well, it is, and I don't like
Well, this is what I call a push.
Will you be quiet?
Well, tell him to be quiet. Tell him to stop. Please, you'll think that's what that trap is.
The hotel, please.
You think that you would have learned something from having lived under Mama's teachings, and you think that you knew right from wrong, and you didn't have to pick a person all around just like a bee.
Please stop it. You said enough. You said 10.
I didn't say enough. I didn't say enough.
Oh, stop crying.
Now, this is what I want to say. Tell me what I told you about men. What I told you wrong, man.
What about men?
Hello, Mrs. Way, please.
I don't want to talk to Mrs. Way. I want to talk to Mama.
I know that, Pa. Hello? Hello, Ma. Yeah, well, Papa wants to talk to you, Ma. No, Ma.
Give me the phone.
Just a minute, Pa. Yes, Mom.
Give me the phone.
Well, Papa wants to talk to you, Ma. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Ma, but Papa wants to talk to you.
I said, hand me the phone.
Just a minute, Pa.
Why, just a minute.
Rosie, Mama wants to talk to you. Hello, Ma.
Will you tell your mother I want to
Rosie,
talk
Mama
to
wants
her?
to talk to you.
Jimmy. Hello, Molly. Yes. But I wish to talk to you, and then you can talk to Rosie. I have something to tell you. Quiet. That can wait. Let it snow. Tell me about it later.
Rosie.
Then come home and take off the line yourself. Don't get me. Come home before Mr. Ray gets there. That's all I want to say. Goodbye.
But if Jake thought this would bring Molly home, he doesn't know his wife as well as he should. Because Molly will stay and stay and stay until she can get Mrs. Way to agree to her plans. Unless Way's coming spoils him completely.
Terry and the Pirates. How would you like to celebrate Christmas in China in a log cabin in the snow-clad mountains of Kunlun? Well, that's where we find Terry and his friends. They haven't been bothered with shopping because there are no stores handy and no Christmas cards and no turkeys or anything like that. But they're happy because a lot of good luck has followed them. I'll tell you just what I mean in a moment on today's transcribed episode. But first, Terry and the Pirates is brought to you by the makers of Libby's Pineapple Juice, one of Libby's 100 famous foods. Boys and girls, Libby has a Christmas surprise for you. A surprise that'll give you a great big thrill. So stand by right after the program. And now, Terry and the Pirates. Well, the famous Dr. Moy Ben has been found and brought to the roomy log cabin where he can rest and recover from his exposure to the snow and cold. And then, too, the precious gas formula papers have been recovered and are once again in Jude Hennick's possession. The crook, Kennington Hook, is a prisoner in one of the log cabin rooms and will soon be turned over to the Army. And so Christmas Day has been a quiet, uneventful affair, except for... Well, listen.
What's the matter? Terry, I'm almost sorry I gave you that parrot for Christmas.
Oh, I think he's swell, but I don't know what to call him.
I've thought of a lot of things to call him, believe me. He makes too much racket.
What's the matter, Dragon?
Here we are trying to be kind of quiet so old Dr. Moy Ben can sleep in that other room, and this green and red measles screeches like a guinea hen.
Why do you call my parrot Measles?
Because I got him for you in a rash moment.
Oh.
Oh, never mind. I'm entitled to one bad gag on Christmas Day, huh?
Say, have you been listening to what that Chinese turkey is saying?
Oh, the parrot? He says, what's the matter? What's the matter?
Listen, sounds to me like that last word is dragon. Where'd you get this bird, Burma?
Oh, I was in Minchow a couple of days ago, and a man had two of them and offered me this chicken for a few yen. Why?
I don't know. Just curious.
Say, just because this parrot says dragon, you don't think the bird is working for the dragon lady, too, do you, Pat?
After what I've seen these past few days, anything can happen.
Yeah. Well, We've got a lot to be happy about, though. Right, Burma?
Yeah. Wait till you see the Christmas dinner Connie and I are whipping up out of nothing. You'll be a lot happier still.
I'm glad about a lot of things. The old doctor's safe and warm. He'll recover okay. Dude has the formula papers. We managed to save our guns and knives from the gas attack on Min Chow. We got Hook locked up in that small room over there. The snow's melting, and maybe we'll soon be out of here. Well, is that a speech or is that a speech?
What's the matter,
I like the way he says dragon.
Oh, he's all right. Say, what's cooking? Smells mighty good.
You're getting a Chinese Christmas dinner, Terry.
Well, I think I'll go out and see what Connie's doing. Come on, Bird. Hop on my arm. We'll go for a walk.
Hey, careful. If Connie gets the idea, we may have roast parrot.
Oh, Pat.
Not a chance. Come on, fella. Hop on my arm.
Doesn't his claw feel funny on your arm?
Sure, but he doesn't know it, and I'm not going to embarrass a parrot by complaining about his claws. Come along, fella.
I was mighty kippy of you, Burma. Give Terry that parrot. It's the only thing he got for Christmas.
Well, it's all in fun, Pat.
And I thought April would bust when she got that jade necklace.
Well, that was really from Connie. He gave it to me, and I asked him if I could give it to April.
Well, you made both Terry and April happy.
And you'll be happy soon. You and Dude, just as soon as dinner's ready. The way to treat you kindly is to feed you. So just relax. And, oh, say, you might go in and take a look at Dr. Moy Ben.
Yeah, poor old fella. He's been through a lot of hard luck, all right.
Yeah, I haven't much to say. Nobody told him about that trouble a gas caused down there in Minchow. He speaks very good English, do you know that?
Well, I haven't heard him utter a word since he was brought in here.
Yeah, he's a scholar. He understood me, and that's something. Me with a mouthful of slang all the time. I wish somebody would teach me the King's English someday.
You talk all right, Burma. Don't feel sorry for yourself.
I think I'll turn over a new leaf starting next week.
Why next week? Oh, New Year's resolution, eh?
Mm-hmm. I think I'll become a very dignified type. I'll cut out the slang, I'll speak softly, and I'll do a lot of listening.
Yeah, and make everybody unhappy. No. Be yourself. That's the thing to do. Be like me. I'm just me.
Well, that's no help. Baby, this Christmas is just a little sad, even though we do kid about it being okay.
Think so?
Well, I've always been used to giving a little something to friends. Just to... Well, you need a pair of socks.
Now, look, I need a pair of shoes, too. As long as you're giving presents, why not pick out a lot of things? I know how you feel, beautiful. We're putting on an act way out here in China, trying to pretend it's just like back home.
I guess I'm a sissy, huh?
Not a bit of it. I'd like to give you a comb for those blonde locks. I'd like to give Dude a new pipe and Terry a hat that fits him and Connie a coat and... sure, I know.
Well, let's not make Terry or April unhappy. Guess we're old enough to keep the chin up and make out with a Christmas cheer. Now, take a look at the tree, take a deep breath, and then go in and see if Dr. Moy Ben's asleep. See if he's warm enough. You know, this Christmas may turn out to be a wow.
What's the matter?
Oh, for all goodness sakes. That is most funny duck Connie has ever encountered. Oh, this feathered fowl must be many years of age, with wrinkles on the eyes.
I'm going to get April to teach him to sing. Say, what's cooking out here, Connie?
Oh, some everything a little of.
Some everything a little of? That sounds like stew.
Perhaps creamer stew.
Creamer stew? Oh, you mean Christmas stew.
Is so.
Oh, Terry, I just heard an airplane a minute ago. I'm sure I did.
Well, it was in the air if you did hear it. Those on the ground at Min Chow are useless on account of that Moy Ben gas that ruined everything made of steel.
Is the crazy gas still in town?
No, it's gone away. But there isn't a plane or a car or a gun that's any good. Boy, if the invader only knew about it, it'd be duck soup to march in here and take over.
Can the parrot sing, Terry?
No, I don't think so. Hey, I was wondering if you could teach him a tune like I'm Only a Bird in a Gilded Cage.
Oh, I don't know that song, but I know quite a lot about parrots. My grandma used to have one. Or was it my aunt?
Well, what about it?
Well, the parrot used to run the legs off the house cat.
Run the legs off a cat?
Yes. The parrot was perched right above the saucer where the cat would drink her milk. And all day long the parrot would say, "Here, kitty, here, kitty, 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 kitty." And that crazy cat just naturally wore itself out running to the saucer.
Oh, I don't believe it. Even on Christmas Day, I don't.
Why, Terry Lee.
Excuse, please, but is Sunday closed to be for dinner?
Is who? Sunday closed?
Where did you get that, Connie? Sunday closed for dinner?
He has come with bag of luggage, with toys and horses with horns. His name, Sunday Claus?
Oh, Santa Claus. Sunday Claus. Well, Connie, Santa Claus has come and gone, and he won't be here for dinner.
Listen, Terry. There's a plane. I'm sure.
Quiet, Bird, quiet. It's a plane, all right. Must be going to land near here. It sounded mighty low, just above the trees.
Excuse, please. Who is Sunday Claus?
Well, that's a big question, Connie. Santa Claus is just about the biggest, kindest businessman in all the world. He has branch offices in every land where English is spoken. Yeah, and many a land where English is forbidden. He works with Father Christmas in Great Britain. He's called Grandfather Frost over in Russia, and in other places, St. Nicholas or something like that. He's about the busiest man in the world. What he doesn't deliver himself, the post office does for him.
Wow. How did you know all that, Terry?
Well, you can't help reading things now and then, you know.
You know, I guess anybody who can have Santa Claus visit him, or even if we could just be home, in a real home, that would be Christmas enough, wouldn't it?
Say, you're not going to cry, are you, Rachel? Oh, you got a swell necklace for Christmas. Irma said it was from all of us. I bet there isn't another necklace like that in the world.
What is so?
No, I'm not going to cry. But at Christmas time, well, it's wonderful to be with folks who like you. Oh, be still.
Oh, should soon be on. Sunday Claus and Christmas is hotty dandy with food for stomach.
I think I'll leave Knick-Knack out here for a while.
Is that the parrot's name?
I don't know. I haven't decided. He makes such a racket, I'm afraid he'll keep old Dr. Moy Ben awake. The doctor needs plenty of rest and quiet.
Yes, he was awful weak when we brought him in here. Dr. Moy Ben, I mean, could hardly talk.
Now then, fella, you perch up here and don't bother Connie. Come on, April, let's go and see the tree. I think you and Burma did a swell job decorating it with berries and colored paper and popcorn.
Let's go in quietly. Dinner won't be ready for half an hour, and we can be still so Dr. Ben can sleep.
Yeah, maybe Pat or Dude would like to take a snooze, too. Listen. Somebody else is in there with Burma.
Yes. Let's get close to the door. Maybe we can hear.
Stay right where you are and don't raise your voices. I dislike this rude interruption to what you call your holiday. But business is business. Still, you will release Mr. Hook first. You will all live to enjoy your holiday if you do not make any trouble. I think between Mr. Keel, Mr. Hook, and myself, we shall manage very nicely.
Well, you got the drop. What's the idea? What do you want?
You know as well as I do, or better, Mr. Ryan. I want those gas formula papers.
I haven't got them.
That may be true. But one of you has them, and I want them before I leave here.
They were turned over to the Chinese army officials.
Don't lie to me. I don't like it. You will have your choice. Either I get the gas formulas or I take Dr. Moyden with me in the plane. I'm sure he will eventually give me a great deal of help, even if you do not.
Well, how did you know Dr. Moyden was here? How did you know about the gas formulas? How did you know it?
Stupid people. Did the woman Burma not buy a parrot from one of my men a few days ago? Oh, so that is one way of learning things. I have men in Min Chow, of course.
Doggone, I knew that parrot said the word dragon. I should have suspected something then.
Ah, that is good work, Mr. Keel. I am glad to see you too, Mr. Hook. You have bungled your work, but you are loyal.
You'll never get away from here. There's a strange kind of gas that turns steel to ashes.
My plane is well out of danger. It's in the clearing beyond this cabin. Now then, Burma, you will go into that other room and tell Mr. Hennick to come out. Keel, stand beside her and see that she gives no warning. We'll soon have the formulas. And if we do not get them, then we shall take Dr. Moy Ben with us. And I'm sure you wouldn't want that, eh, Mr. Ryan? Now then, Burma, on your feet and do exactly as I say.
This is a fine end for Christmas Day.
Oh, dear. What do we do?
Nothing much we can do. I mean, we can't go in there and surprise the dragon lady. She's got that fella Keel with her. They came in the plane, and Mr. Hook is free now. Say, I know.
Yes?
They said they landed their plane not far from here. Come on, we'll go there and do something to the plane so it can't take off. Then we'll have a chance of catching Hook again and Keel and the dragon lady. Come on, let's go out the back way before anybody thinks to look for us.
Well, I wonder if Terry and April can find the plane in time and cripple it, and thus outwit the dragon lady. That's going to be part of the excitement in Friday's transcribed adventure. But meanwhile, here's a word for us all. Well, kid, here's that surprise I told you about. And is it a honey? We've hooked up with Terry himself, and he's going to talk direct to you. Okay, China?
Hi there, everybody. What I want to say is a Merry Christmas, an extra special Merry Christmas to every single one. And oh, but here's Pat.
Well, Merry Christmas to me, too, kids. The best of everything for the new year and...
Say, let a lady push in a word, too, won't you? Happy holidays to all of you back there in the USA. A Merry Christmas from all your friends in China.
Well, thanks a heap, Burma, and thanks to Pat and Terry, too. And boys and girls, Libby joins in wishing you the finest Christmas yet. Now, tomorrow we're going to see what luck Terry and April have when they try to stop the dragon lady from making a getaway. But everybody in that log cabin is due for a surprise from a direction they do not expect. So you join us for the surprise, too, will you? It's sure to be a tip-top thriller.
Hello there on Christmas Day. Get ready to smile again with radio's home folks, Bake and Sade. Bake and Sade, written by Paul Reimer, is brought to you each weekday by the makers of the new Sure Mix Crisco. A Merry Christmas to each and every one of you. Yes, all of us here on Bake and Sade hope you're enjoying this Christmas Day. We hope all your Christmas presents were just exactly what you wanted, and we hope you're having lots and lots of fun. So remember, when you're sitting around the Christmas tree today, that the makers of Crisco and we here on this program are wishing you a perfectly swell Christmas Day. Well, sir, it's early evening as we enter the small house halfway up in the next block now. And here in the living room we find Mr. and Mrs. Victor Gook and their son, Mr. Rushko. The master of the menage is replacing the telephone receiver on its hook, having just this moment concluded a conversation with his friend, Y.I.I.Y. Skibber. And Sade, who's been idly listening, inquires,
What's a North Dakota river bottom revel?
I gather it's a beloved old wintertime custom widely observed in this part of the country.
I never heard of it, Carl.
Neither did I. Of course, it's possible I might recognize it under some other name. It smacks somewhat of a chivalry, where there's a wedding, you know. Everybody comes and serenades the young couple, and cigars are passed around, and so forth.
Well, do Y.I.I.Y. Skibber and them plan to pull that on us?
Oh, do you mind, kiddo? We're not planning on doing anything this evening, and they're only be here about 20 minutes. Very likely less.
How many of them?
8.
All fellas from the Bright Kentucky Hotel?
Yeah. Skibber was so full of enthusiasm, I didn't see how I could very well discourage him. There's a North Dakota river bottom revel on foot, he says. Clear the track. Well, I had to tell him to come ahead. It's a gay, boyish wintertime prank, don't you see? Don't let it disturb you, kiddo. I promise that they'll be here no more than 20 minutes.
Will they want to come in the house?
They'll dash in the house and then dash right out of the house. It's just a matter of, hello there, friends. By George, it's good to see you. Mrs. Cook, I never seen you look so charming. And Little Rush, too. Here, Little Rush, let me toss you into there.
Nobody better toss me into here.
You get the idea, don't you?
Sounds like bobsled rides young people used to go on in Dixon, where you'd pull up at every farmhouse along the road and sing a song, and maybe they'd come out and give you a cider or hot coffee.
Exactly. North Dakota River Bottom Revel.
That sounds to me like kind of a peculiar name.
So, why mark it?
Because I don't think there's any river bottoms in North Dakota.
There's probably river bottoms in North Dakota. No, don't worry about these guys swarming in on us, kiddo. It's just a matter of in again, out again, Finnegan.
They'll stop by other places besides here, I expect.
Millions. That's the thing of it. They'll drop in on all of their friends. We hear a clamor out in front of the house. 8 fellas, laughing and talking, tumble out of their automobiles. The door bursts open, and in swarms a crowd of merry pranksters amid a swirl of snow. It's the jolly, frosty wintertime, they holler. Hello, Vic. Hello, Sadie.
Nobody in that bright Kentucky hotel outfit knows me well enough to call me Sadie.
Mrs. Cook, then. Hello, Mrs. Cook. You've got a bloom on your cheek like a 16-year-old. Here's Little Rush, by George. Come here, Little Rush. I'll toss you into there.
Anyway, they can toss 116 pounds of solid flesh in the air.
I'm beginning to catch the spirit of the North Dakota River Bottom Revel Fete. It's full of wholesome wintertime zest. Amid a swirl of snow, the rollicking fellas troop into the house. Hello, Vic. Hello, Sadie.
It's not snowing.
What?
It's not snowing. How can your 8 North Dakota river bottom revelers troop in amid a swirl of snow when it's not snowing?
Well, that's merely incidental. It'd be nice if it was snowing, though.
Yeah. If it was snowing, your bright Kentucky hotel gang could troop in amid a swirl of snow.
Yeah. I'm glad to see you smiling, kiddo. When I give YIIY Fibber the go-ahead on the phone just now, I was the least bit happy.
Maybe this is the season of the year when people aren't so apt to put up a holler.
Yeah, sure. Well, after all, you might have kicked at the prospect of 8 fellas busting in on you late at night.
Late at night?
Well, they would be past someone between 11 and 12 o'clock.
Oh, my.
Well, we'll be up that late.
Maybe we will.
Sure, we'll be up that late. And they'll only stop in a quarter of an hour, don't forget. Yes, it's a beloved old wintertime tradition. Especially popular in Ohio.
Well, they call it an Ohio river bottom revel then.
Yeah. You're not acquainted with all these fellas that's coming, kiddo, but I bet you get a thrill just the same. They swoop in amid a swirl of snow. They throw off...
It's not snowing.
What?
It's not snowing.
Well, I appreciate it's not snowing.
Then how can they swoop in amid a swirl of snow?
You're being irritating on purpose, aren't you, Floorland?
No.
They swoop in amid a swirl of snow. They throw off their hats and overcoats. Hello there, Vic. Hello there, Sadie. Who's this fine little man? It's young Rush. Come, Little Rush. I'll toss you into there.
It's like I'm going to be in the air for about half an hour.
Oh, I haven't told you all that's in the rollicking crew. YIIY Skeever, of course.
Yeah.
Alf Washington, Stacy Yacht.
I had an idea they'd be included.
Glenn Webster, Raymond Bierman, and Cincinnati J. Kep. Hugh H. Oatwalk. Oh, and that friend of Mr. Fuller's, Mr. Fishigan.
Fishigan?
Yep.
Fishigan, Michigan?
You're right.
I can't get the guys up at school to believe that. Fishigan, Michigan, I say. And all they do is sneer. It's a fact, I tell them. Here's a Mr. Fishigan. First name is Fishigan. He resides in Fishigan. That's in Michigan. But everybody scoffs and
Telephone's ringing.
Most likely, good old never take any wooden nickels. What did I do with my other shoe, reliable Bluetooth Johnson? Sit still, Howard. I'll get it.
Somebody calling up on the telephone amid a swirl of snow, Amos.
Yeah.
Hello? Oh, yes, YIIY.
North Dakota Mountain Peak Rumpus called off for this.
Oh, that a fact, YIIY? Oh, it's too bad. Uh-huh. Oh, sure. Too bad. Well, the rest of you are coming along? Oh, sure. Oh? Well, that's okay. Sure. Fine, YIIY. You bet, YIIY. Be looking for you, YIIY. Goodbye, YIIY.
I said YIIY that many times, my tongue would be twisted in between my teeth somewhere.
Mine, too.
Only 5 guys coming.
Oh?
Glenn Webster, Raymond Bierman, and Cincinnati J. Kep decided they'd better not stay up so late on account of having to transact important business first thing in the morning. They need their sleep. However, 5's enough for happy wintertime mirth and gaiety.
Sure.
They'll swarm in amid a swirl of snow.
Yeah, they'll swarm in amid a swirl of snow. Hello there, Vic.
Hello there, Sadie.
Oh, there, Reggie. Come here while I throw you up in the air.
Everybody's got the spirit of the North Dakota River bottom Revel. It's like the Dixon bobsled parties that you described a while ago, kiddo. Just a crowd of happy-go-lucky gay blades celebrating the merry wintertime season, stopping by for a bright hello to their pals.
Why did YII Fibber telephone just now?
To notify me the rollicking band of pranksters had been cut down from 8 to 5.
Oh, but why'd he bother? I mean, what difference does it make whether there's 8 or 7 or 6?
Well, I guess he had in mind refreshments.
Refreshments?
Oh, salted peanuts is all. That's all you give a crowd of guys out on a North Dakota River bottom Revel. Just salted peanuts. We got salted peanuts, haven't we?
Yeah.
That's all in the world necessary.
Are you sure they won't expect coffee and sandwiches?
Yep. Salted peanuts fill the bill. 5 fellas swoop in.
Amid a swirl of snow.
Did you say, Rex?
I just said 5 fellas troop in amid a swirl of snow.
Yeah. 5 fellas swoop in amid a swirl of snow. They throw off their hats and overcoats. Hello, Vic. Hello, Sadie. What's this? Salted peanuts? Let me at 'em.
Seems like kind of skimpy refreshment.
Not at all.
If they stop by at a million different houses besides here, like you said, and everybody gives them salted peanuts, they'll be pretty darn full of salted peanuts after a while. Why, George, they'll be so full.
Oh, and kiddo, another thing why Skeever told me just now. He's afraid they won't arrive until after 12 o'clock.
Hey, now.
Well, it'll be just a moment or so past 12 o'clock. We'll be up that late.
Well, think of the neighbors, though. They'll all be asleep. We want a bunch of men laughing and hollering out on the sidewalk at midnight when people...
Cell phone's ringing.
Get it, will you?
I'm here at this good old lost and found department. This is where we part company, dependable Bluetooth Johnson.
Midnight's pretty late for people to bust in.
Well, they'll only stay a quarter of an hour. And remember, this is the gay season of the year.
Hello? Yes? Yes, I believe he is. 1 second.
Like me, sir?
Don't think so.
Ain't good stuff.
Uh-uh.
Well, ho.
I don't know.
One side. Yes? Oh, yes, why?
Why don't they call him Kayai or I-Fi or something? Person almost dislocates their jaw saying why.
Well, that's too bad, why. Yeah. Oh, well. Sure. What you lose in quantity, you can make up in quality. Sure. Well, you guys come right on ahead. Beg pardon? Oh? Well, won't be any later than that, will it? Uh-huh. I see, why. You bet, why. Bye-bye, why.
Somebody else won't be here to swarm in amid a swirl of snow.
Alf Musherton and Q.H. Oakwalk have dropped out.
Oh?
They don't feel like they better stay out that late either.
How late? I heard you inquire.
Oh, 12:30.
Now, look, Becky.
Well, we'll be up that late.
First you said between 11 and 12. Then you said a split second past 12, and now you say 12:30.
Oh, well, heck.
Oh, there's 5 guys out of 8 quitting the North Dakota River bottom Revel job. It don't leave many guys to come swarming in the house amid a swirl of snow.
Leaves 3. 3 jolly good fellas is quite a lot of fellas when they're all as cheery and gay and hearty as these 3 are.
Who are the 3 that's left?
Why, Fibber, Stacy Opp, and Michigan Fishigan. You and Michigan Fishigan can laughingly talk over old times you enjoyed with your mutual friend, Mr. Buller.
What old times did I ever enjoy with our mutual friend, Mr. Buller?
Well, he's taken us out to meals at the Butler House Hotel on a good many occasions. Anyway, you and Michigan Fishigan got something in common to talk about. You both know Mr. Buller.
Is this Michigan Fishigan you're talking about, Gus? The same Michigan Fishigan that hails from Fishigan, Michigan?
You know it is.
I just can't get my friends to believe that. I tell them Michigan Fishigan from Fishigan, Michigan, and all they do is hoot and holler. He's a Mr. Fishigan, I say. He's a Mr. Fishigan, and his first name is Michigan. He lives in Fishigan. That's a town in Michigan. But they won't believe it.
Do you have sufficient salted peanuts, say?
Oh, sure.
With only 3 fellas coming, it won't require many.
Golly, what if they do expect coffee and sandwiches?
They won't. I like good, wholesome customers like this. We hear an auto horn out in front.
Yes, it's 12:30 at night.
Gay laughter is heard. The door bursts open, and here are a crowd of merry vagabonds, full of wintertime zest and friendship. Hello, Vic. Hello, Sadie. And who's this fine little man? I bet it's Rush. Come here, Rush, while I toss you into there.
I'm going to be a wreck by the time I've been through.
Telephone's ringing. Telephone's ringing.
I'll get it. Little old don't feed the animals. Is there a physician in the house? Trustworthy Bluetooth Johnson.
Yeah? Oh, no. Really? What's the idea? Kind of a washout, huh? I see. Well, maybe you better tell him not to bother. No. Good time? Look, why. Perhaps we better just forget all about it. Yes.
Well, what?
Search me.
Okay, why. Okay, why. Now that's all, why. You bet, why.
Oh, all those why make me a little dizzy.
Very well, why. Certainly, why. Bye-bye, why.
What's the matter?
That was why.
We kind of halfway thought it was.
He dropped out of the North Dakota River bottom river, and so is Stacy Yacht. Only used one guy.
Michigan, Michigan.
Is he coming?
Why, Skibber claims he is.
Coming all by himself?
Yes, so.
At what time?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
Till he swarm in amid a swirl of snow, Gus?
What?
Michigan, Michigan will swarm in the house amid a swirl of snow. He'll throw off his coat and hat. Hello, Vic. Hello, Sadie. Who is this fine little man? I bet it's Rushy. Come here, Rushy, while I toss you in the air.
Well, neighbors, so ends today's visit at this small house halfway up in the next block. But seems like something's always going on at the residence of Mr. and Mrs. Victor Good. And I'll be waiting there to open the door for you when you drop in on Vic and Sade the next time. This is Ed Hurley, speaking.
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber, McGee, and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber, McGee, and Molly, written by Don Quinn with music by the King's Men and Billy Mills Orchestra. The show opens with O G.O. Joy. On this program, I mentioned something that caused a good deal of comment. I said, a waxed house is a clean house, and a clean house is a sanitary, healthful one. Do you remember? Well, it seems that quite a few people have not fully realized that when they wax their floors, furniture, and woodwork regularly with genuine Johnson's Wax, they are actually doing a good deal more than protecting and beautifying those surfaces. Yes, they're making their homes healthier as well as pleasanter places to live in. You see, the wax seals a surface against dirt and moisture. Dust and dirt do not adhere easily to a wax-polished area. So regular waxing removes many of the sources of germs. And besides, it's so much easier to clean waxed floors, baseboards, and furniture. Especially in these times, let Johnson's paste, liquid, or cream wax help keep your home sanitary and beautiful. Well, about this time of the, quote, happy, unquote, Yuletide season, every husband begins to get that cornered rat look about his eyes. But the Squire of 79 Wistful Vista looks even more desperate than that. Something is definitely perturbing our hero. For further details, we join Fibber, McGee, and Molly.
furthermore, I'm the dumbest, short-sightedest, dim-wittedest, stumble-bummetest, empty-headedest, feather-brainedest droop that ever didn't know enough to come in out of a tornado.
Well, just as you say.
If my head was small enough to fit my brains, I'd be getting telegrams from Ripley.
Well, I wouldn't be a bit surprised.
They say Washington's home at Mount Vernon has got a beautiful big stoop, but you got a bigger and a beautifuler stoop, and I don't mean anybody but me.
You just say that.
I got the IQ of a microbe. I think when I die, I'll leave my skull to the Smithsonian for a doorknob.
How charming.
As dumb as I am, it's a wonder to me I ever got out of the 3rd grade.
It's a wonder to me you ever got in.
You ain't whistling Dixie there either. I think I'll give myself back to the Indians. I'm the biggest numbskull that ever...
All right, McGee. I'll admit you're a fascinating subject, but what's this all about?
It's about me. That's what it's all about. I'm the stupidest one.
All right. For the sake of argument, let's say you're completely brainless.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'll find it sooner or later.
Find what?
That's $15. I was saving it for your Christmas present. I hid it last summer, so I wouldn't be tempted to spend it, and now I can't find it. If that don't make me the weak-minded dumb...
Now. Stop pacing up and down. Ours is a beautiful union, and it doesn't need any pickets.
Pickets are still laying there. And I'm getting desperate. Only 8 more shopping days before Christmas, and I've looked every place.
Calm yourself. What man can hide, man can find.
Yeah.
Where do you usually hide your extra money?
I don't usually have any extra money. And when I did, I used to put it in the sugar bowl.
Did you look there?
Yes, but I'm using it now to keep stuff more valuable than money.
Why?
Sugar.
Did you go through all your old clothes?
Yeah, but it wouldn't be there. I distinctly remember tucking it away in some safe place. Oh, let me see. Where could... Hey, hand me that blue vase on the mantel.
Oh, this one here?
Oh, no, it ain't here. This is where I've been keeping my cellophane collection. Sure got a mess of it, haven't I?
What are you saving cellophane for?
I don't know. I guess I just got tired of collecting cigar bands. String. Seemed to be more future in cellophane. Doggone it, this makes me sore.
Was it in $5 bills, dearie?
It was a 10 and a 5 in a white envelope. And I wrote on the outside of it, do not touch until 10 days before Christmas, and this means me.
Well, I'm a pretty good housekeeper, if I do say so myself, and I haven't seen anything of it.
Well, if the worst comes to worst, I'll get an internal revenue collector in here. Them guys could find money in a caraway seed. Now, let me think a minute. If I could just remember.
Come in. Abigail Uppington. Hello, darling.
Oh, how do you do, my dear? And Miss McGee.
Hi, Uppy. Where's your Santa Claus costume? Or aren't you christening the Kringle today?
Oh, I don't go on duty till 4 o'clock, Mr. McGee. But what, may I ask, is the matter with you?
What do you mean, Abigail?
Well, look at him, my dear. He looks positively haggard. I only hope the government doesn't catch him with those Chevrolet tires under his eyes.
I ain't been sleeping good, Uppy. I got pernicious insomnia. I'm worried.
Yes. He hid $15 for Christmas shopping, Abigail. Now he can't find it. For 3 days now, he's been prowling around the house like a mouse after a cat.
You mean a cat after a mouse?
In this house, anything can happen.
I had a case like that once.
Uppy, you sound Ozzier than Nelson. What happened with you?
Oh, I was simply frantic because I thought I'd mislaid a ruby and emerald bracelet. But the solution was so simple, it was ridiculous.
Well, what was the solution? Maybe it'll give McGee an idea.
I suddenly realized I had never had a ruby and emerald bracelet. Isn't that silly?
And I thought I was done. Uppy, you're as giddy as a steeplejack full of applejack.
I'm afraid I was at that time, Mr. McGee. You see, I was just a girl out of finishing school and madly in love with a handsome young lieutenant.
Well, there was something awfully romantic about those Civil War uniforms, Abigail.
Yes, indeed, they certainly were. I beg your pardon, Mr. McGee.
Don't mention it, Abigail. But what girls' school did you go to?
Ward Belmont, my dear, in Nashville, Tennessee. Oh, I can close my eyes now and smell the magnolias on the campus.
That's my hair, Uppy. I just come from the barber shop.
It is Magnolia. It's Jockey Club.
Well, do remind me, my dear, sometime to show you the pictures of my class. I was captain of the croquet team, you know.
No. Well, call me Virginia and watch me reel. So you all were the captain of the croquet team, was you, honey child?
Now, please, Miss McGee, I have only the most charming memories of the South, and I found Southern men were always most gentlemanly.
Well, I guess that'll dim your northern lights, McGee.
That must account for my good manners, Uppy. My grandfather wore the Southern uniform, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Sure. He was a conductor on the Chattanooga Choo-Choo. What was it you wanted to see me about?
Oh, I just wanted to tell you about the most marvelous fortune teller.
Fortune teller? Blah. Those bargain basement gypsies couldn't foretell the future of a blue-eyed blonde with the fleet in.
But they're fun, dearie. They're fun.
Fun my clavicle. Dark man going across your path, going to take a long journey, going to get a letter. You'll find your diamond ring under the... Hey, maybe she can tell me where my $15 is. Come on. What are we waiting for? Get your hat, Molly. Where is this fortune teller?
It's upstairs.
Never mind. I'll find it. Come on, Molly. We'll see you later, Uppy. Why didn't I think of this before? Oh, boy, that $15 is as good as found. Right now. Why, those people are wonderful. I know of a case where a guy lost a big strong once. Get a load of this reception room, Molly. Boy, what a dump.
Well, this was your idea, not mine.
Why do fortune tellers always live in joints like this? If they can see into the future, why don't they make a killing at the races and live in a classy apartment?
Well, maybe they can't get a crystal ball big enough to see a horse in.
Well, this one sure ought to know her onions. She's cooked enough of them around here.
Don't be so critical. You know, Madam X ought to be calling us in any time now. You know, we've been waiting here 25 minutes.
Madam X. Probably an old gypsy named McGillicuddy. Not that I care what her name is if she can slap herself into a trance and find my $15.
You know, we'd have saved time if we just consulted Uncle Dennis.
What does he know about fortune telling?
Well, I don't know, but he certainly lives in an atmosphere of departed spirits. You know, last night I came into the hall and I found him balancing himself on the banister.
Yeah? What did he say?
He said, "Niece, your escalator has run down."
At it again, huh? I gave him a lecture about that just the other day.
What'd he do?
He just sat tight.
Mr. McGee, I will see you now, please.
Oh, thank you, madam. Come on, dearie. We'll see what fate has in store for you. If fate still has a store, which I doubt with things being so hard to get.
Oh, I'm ready, sis. Hop onto your broomstick.
This way, please.
Oh, incense.
I think I preferred the onions. Hey, can't we have a little light in here, sis?
No. The darkness, she is desirable for proper contact with the forces of the unknown.
Oh.
Sit down, please.
Oh, thank you. You see, the reason we came, Madam X, is because...
Do not tell me. I will tell you. Your husband is in trouble, no?
My husband is in trouble, yes.
Hey, how'd you know, sis? Can you read my mind?
Yes. It is very simple.
Huh?
No, that's what he's been telling himself all day, Madam.
How do we go about this now, sis? Do you read the stars, feel the bumps on my head, look at my palm, or do we just sit around and strain our eyes at each other?
No. For $5, I will answer 3 questions.
$5? Isn't that a little expensive?
Yes. Now you have 2 more questions.
We better not waste any time, Molly. Here's the question, sis. Where's the $15 I was saving for my wife's Christmas present?
It is right where you are putting it. Now, you have 1 more question.
Heavenly days. We're not making much progress, are we?
No. Now, for another $5, I will answer 3 more questions.
Oh, no, you don't, sis. Come on, Molly. I ain't going to pay her $10 to find 15. Here, sis, here's your $5.
Thank you. You must come again and see Madame X when you are troubled with business, law, or marriage.
Who, us? Do we look that silly? Do you think we like to be gypped?
That is 3 more questions. I will answer the first one by
Come on, Molly, come on, quick.
Well, my goodness, McGee. We didn't get much satisfaction in there, did we?
Well, yes. She at least says that dough is still where I put it. That's some comfort. Well, come on, let's go home and see.
Well, hello there, folks. Say, have you been consulting Madam X?
Yes, if you call it that, Mr. Wilcox.
The way that dame clips you, she ought to be a barber in a boot camp. You going to consult her, Junior?
Sure. I was in here last week for advice.
About what?
Oh, business. I asked her how the future of Johnson's Wax stacked up. She said it had a very bright and sparkling future.
Oh.
She says that in times like these, when conservation was so important, more housewives than ever would preserve and protect their floors with Johnson's Wax.
And what was the second question, my fellow chump?
Well, then I asked her which of the Johnson Wax features I should emphasize, and she said health. Because Johnson's Wax seals the surface against dust and dirt and dampness and gives the housewife so much extra rest and leisure.
Oh, and the third question?
That's where I made my mistake. I asked her if my pipe bothered her.
And she said yes and soaked you another bin. Boy, what a racket.
Say, why on earth are you coming back, Mr. Wilcox, if you knew you'd been cheated?
I want to ask her if she took my watch.
Mr. Wilcox, I will see you now.
I'll say you will, baby. So long, folks. What?
Well, let's get on home, McGee. We'll turn the house inside out till we find that $15.
And believe me, the next time I hide something, I'm going to hide it in plain sight. This'll teach me a lesson. If I wasn't such a sap-headed, beetle-brained, lop-eared, low-browed, slithering tricks I ever heard of anything.
Well, now that we're home, where'd we better start, McGee?
Oh, I don't know. I remember putting it in a place where I could lay hands on it at a minute's notice.
You say the $15 was in a white envelope?
Yes.
Well, that shouldn't be so hard to find. Would you put it behind one of the pictures?
No, I looked behind all the pictures this morning. I turned Whistler's mother around so many times she almost fell out of her chair.
Say, maybe you put it under a rug. No, I've had them up too many times. I'd have seen it.
Oh, why can't I remember? I must have a skull full of rice pudding. I'm the biggest drip this side of Niagara Falls. The only thing that keeps my ears apart is my big fat mouth.
Oh. No, McGee. Anybody can forget things.
Nobody can forget them as easy as me. It's exasperating. I'm getting so I'm afraid to shake hands for fear I'll walk off without my arms. Here, I thought I was a pretty bright guy, and I couldn't pass the intelligence test of a Mongolian basket weaver. Why of all
now, for goodness sake, if you'd stop scolding yourself for a few minutes, maybe we could get something done.
Well, my gosh, well...
Now, listen, here's what we better do. I'll start with the upstairs and go through every room, and you look around down here, and between us we ought to cover every inch of this house.
Okay, but I...
Now, stop your arguing. Anyway, you're not as dumb as you claim. You're really pretty smart.
I am?
Yes.
Oh.
Or you wouldn't have hidden that $15 from yourself. Fine. When it comes to money, and I hope we do...
Come in.
Oh, hello there, Mr. Oldtimer.
Hello, daughter. Hello, Johnny. I just stopped in to say goodbye. Goodbye. Hey, Oldtimer, come back here. What's the matter, kid?
You can't yell goodbye to us and then rush away like that. Where are you going and for how long?
Yeah, and when will you be back and for how long?
Going to Chicago, kid. Gonna be gone for an indefinite period.
Oh, what do you mean indefinite period?
I mean I won't be back till the afternoon of January 5th. But whether 3 o'clock or 3:15 is indefinite.
Fly?
Hey!
Fly.
Oh, well, I'll hold still and you swat him, Johnny.
No, my husband means, are you going to fly to Chicago or take the train?
Ain't decided, daughter. Thought maybe I'd get up early in the morning, throw the saddle on old Betsy, sleep on her back, and ride her all the way to Sade.
Well, that's a long trip for a horse.
Who's a horse?
Why, isn't Betsy?
No, Betsy's my bicycle. On the other hand, kids, I'll likely take the steam cars. I love trains. Used to be a railroad man in my younger days.
What'd you do on the railroad?
What do you mean, what did I do, Johnny? I had my own.
You mean you owned a railroad?
Sure did, daughter. 18 cars, 2 engines, and 72 foot of track. Run from the dining room through the front hall, back to the kitchen and round into the dining room again. Stopped at the umbrella stand, the piano stool, the refrigerator, and the cook, exception Mondays, which was the cook's day off, at the piano stool on signal only. But I had a bad wreck in 1889 when Papa come home late one night, tripped over the coal car.
Oh, tough luck.
Yes. Now I never see an engine with a tender behind without thinking of what Papa did to me that night. Well, go on, kids. Merry Christmas.
The Kingsmen sing, I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas.
I'm about ready to give up. You certainly hit that $15 well.
Yes, and I could kick myself around the block for it, too. If I'm not the silliest
Yes, we've been all over that. Are you sure you had $15 in the first place?
Sure, I'm sure. A 10 and a 5. And they were earmarked for your Christmas present, too.
They were what?
Earmarked. That's what the government does with money, so that's what I do.
How?
Well, I put ink all over my ears and pressed both bills against them. I think the theory is that no two people have ears alike. You know, like fingerprints, only easier to see.
Well, that must keep Mr. Morgenthau pretty busy.
Yeah, I guess it does.
Now, listen, let's just sit down here and reconstruct what you did when you hid the money. What did you do first?
Well, first I got me an envelope.
Come in.
Whose car is that out in front?
The black one? Well, that's a kind of a combination ownership, Bud. Me and the finance company.
I see you have an ace sticker on the windshield. Do you do any pleasure driving?
Take him for a ride around the block, McGee. That'll answer that question. In that car, sir, you get more pleasure walking.
And I don't quite understand
Let me see your draft registration card, please.
Okay, here you are, Bud. I'm not only a little overage, but I got a lot of collateral dependents. I got collateral at the First National, the Morris Plan, the building in Long...
Never mind. How much coffee have you got?
Oh, well, about a half a pound.
Sugar?
No, thanks, just cream.
Now, look here, Bud. I don't mind answering questions.
McGee, this is war.
Yeah. Sure, we read about it in the papers, but what...
I only have a few more questions, then I'm through. Have you been buying war bonds?
But we've been buying war bonds till we're red, white, and blue in the face. And I've licked the back of so many war-saving stamps, everything I eat tastes like glue. Now, if you don't mind...
I hope you're not complaining.
Certainly we complain. Everybody complains, and it doesn't mean a thing. And now, if you please explain
McGee,
why...
I see you have cuffs on those trousers. Did you buy that suit after restrictions were put on clothing?
No, I didn't. And while I don't like to be personal, Bud, there are still a few people who need a cuff on the pants. Will you please tell us just who you...
Just one more thing. The government doesn't want you to buy anything you don't need. They're trying to keep prices at a reasonable level, encourage buying bonds and paying off debts. We want this country to be on a sound financial footing after this war is over. Now remember that.
Just what is your connection with the government?
Oh, my goodness, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Mr. Tolliver. I just moved into the brick house down the street.
Oh, I'm glad to know you, Tolliver. This is my wife, Mom.
How do you do, I'm sure. Just what department of the government are you in, Mr. Tolliver?
Oh, I'm not in the government, Mrs. McGee. I run the hamburger wagon down there at 14th and Oak. And I must say we serve the finest...
What way you got to come busting in here asking all them silly questions?
Well, I think when a man moves into a new neighborhood, he naturally wants to know all about his neighbors. Certainly is nice to have met you folks. Good night.
People I ever
tells
met.
me I'm going to have trouble with that mug. He's going to get in my hair, and there ain't enough room in it for anybody but me. A self-appointed cop.
Oh, never mind, McGee. Let's concentrate on finding your $15. Now, what did you do after you got the envelope?
Well, now, let me think. I put the money in the envelope and sealed it.
Yes.
Then I started looking for a hiding place.
Yes.
First, I thought I'd hide it in the hall closet. And then I says to myself, no, I says. I'm going to clean out that closet one of these days. So I takes the envelope.
Oh, for goodness sakes. Come in.
Hello, Mrs. McGee. Hello, Mr. McGee.
Oh, Mr. Wimp.
Hi, Wimp, old man. Buy the suitcase. You running away from home again?
Oh, no, Mr. McGee. I'm going to Chicago on a business trip for about 3 weeks.
Oh? Is your wife going with you, Mr. Wimple?
No, she isn't, Mrs. McGee. I'm going to be terribly lonesome without her, too. Ouch.
What's the matter?
I was crossing my fingers so hard I almost broke them.
Well, what kind of a business trip is this, Mr. Wimple?
I'm going to see my publishers, Mrs. McGee. The ones who publish all my poetry.
Oh.
They sent me a telegram saying they wanted to see me.
Gee, they must think a lot of you, Wimp.
Yes. They wanted to publish my picture. And I sent them some, and they wired right back. We don't believe it. Come in person. Wasn't that nice?
So you won't be here for Christmas, Mr. Wimple?
No, but Sweetie Face gave me my Christmas present before I left. Look, a check for $25.
Say, that's great, Wimp.
Isn't it, though? She says if I'm a good boy all year, that next Christmas she'll sign it.
She might even throw in the blotter.
Why, that old saber-tooth. I thought of a swell gift I'd like to send her, Wimp, but I hate to ask anybody to deliver it.
Oh, I'd be very happy to take it over, Mr. McGee.
Oh, no, you wouldn't. It might explode before you got there.
Not if you timed it right to the second.
What did you give your wife for Christmas, Mr. Wimple?
A great big bottle of cologne, Mrs. McGee, to be opened on Christmas morning.
Cologne, eh? What kind, Wimp?
I mixed it up myself, Mr. McGee. Mostly carbolic acid.
Why, Mr. Wimple, that's liable to take the skin right off her face.
Yeah.
Yes.
Merry Christmas.
3 weeks away from that gunner's mate of his, and Wimp will be a new man.
Poor little fella.
I'll be a poor little fella myself if I don't find that $15. If I wasn't such a numbskull, such a hopeless dope in a blue ribbon suit, I might...
Stop it now.
Huh?
Let's take up where we left off.
Okay.
After you decided against hiding it in the closet, what did you do?
Doggone it, that's what I can't remember. All I know is I put it someplace where I'd remember it just before Christmas.
Well, I'm sorry, McGee. I can't imagine where in the dickens you...
Dickens! That's it. Now I remember. Here it is, right here in this book.
What book?
Dickens' Christmas Carol.
Whatever made you hide your money in that?
Safest place in the world. Nobody ever opens that book till Christmas time.
Winter weather is hard on our floors. We might as well admit it. When snow and slush and wet get tracked in, the floor surfaces need the protection of a tough coat of Johnson's wax. If you examined a waxed floor under a magnifying glass, you'd see that it's the wax that gets all the wear. The surface underneath is safe. And don't forget that with genuine Johnson's wax, you can touch up heavy traffic spots whenever necessary without having to re-wax the entire floor. Don't forget either that there are 100 extra labor-saving uses for wax around your home. Windowsills, Venetian blinds, luggage, shoes and boots, furniture, and woodwork. In these times when we have to take better care of the things we have, wax is a helpful ally.
That was a kind of a clever stunt at that, hiding this $15 in Dickens' Christmas Carol. Maybe I ain't such a fool after all.
No. You really have some bright moments, McGee.
Yeah, I guess I do at that. Well, all's well that ends well. Here, you keep the $15 for me. I gotta throw this envelope in the wastebasket.
Well, this isn't $15. This is the envelope.
Huh? Oh, my gosh. I tore up the money.
What?
Oh, if I ain't the worst muddle-headed, more than ever should have had $15 in the first place. I'm the dumbest, dilliest, dim-wittedest dumb... Ah, good night.
Good night, all.
The characters of the old-timer and Wallace Wimple heard on our program were played by Bill Thompson. This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnston Wax Finishes for the home and industry, inviting you all to join us again next Tuesday night. Good night. This program reached you from Hollywood. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
Most of us are so busy with our own problems and the details of wartime living that I'm afraid we don't take much time to find out what the other 100 and some million people in the country are doing and thinking about. Our next guest on today's Country Journal has made a special point of learning what life in wartime America is like. He's traveled throughout the country, visiting with real people and getting the feel of how they work and what they think. He's Selden Menifee, author of the book Assignment USA, a report on his experiences. I've asked him to be on hand today to tell about his visits with farm people, what they're doing, and how they feel about important problems of the day. Selden, what do you feel are the major issues that farm people are thinking about?
Well, Chuck, first of all, this time of year especially, I suppose they're thinking about getting the crops planted. After that, God and the weather willing, getting them harvested. With acreage hitting a new high this year, that's going to be a job. But American farmers are a pretty resourceful lot, and they'll do it all right.
They've done it the past few years, haven't they? Selden, what have your observations been on this major problem of the farm labor shortage?
I've seen it at first hand in every section of the country, and it is a real problem. Vacant farms in Georgia and Texas, apples rotting in the field for lack of pickers out in Washington State. The wonder is that farm production continues to go up, and that so little is lost, relatively speaking, in the fields.
What do you think the prospects are for the coming season?
I suppose the farm labor shortage will be a little worse than last year, but not much. I believe the annual crisis will be met in much the same way as in the last 2 years. In addition to the usual sources of seasonal labor, more townspeople will have to turn out and help at the peak of the season. I've seen them do that in Lawrenceville, Georgia, and Carthage, Texas, and a lot of other places where the whole town would shut up shop and just turn out and get those crops in.
Those days it's pretty hard to find a place to get a haircut, isn't it?
Yes, indeed. They've shut up all the stores except the drugstores in places like Lawrenceville when they turn out to pick cotton. Then, I suppose, too, the school kids will have to help out more than ever, as Mr. Schmidt and your two young guests today have already pointed out. More and more places will have to do what Madera, California has done, for example. Out there, all the schools above the primary grades go on half-time during the harvest season, and the children work half days in the field under the supervision of their teachers, of course. A year ago, more than 3,000 Madera's children worked on the farms and earned a total of $88,000. They saved many a farmer's tomato crop, too, and put in good licks on cotton and grapes and other fruits as well. I think of all the states I visited, though, probably Oregon had the best organized program for mobilizing farm labor at harvest season. Just about every able-bodied person has been recruited at peak seasons there. Wastage of crops has gone down to next to nothing.
Selden, I know that from time to time we hear that farmers and people out in the country are a little bit resentful of Washington regulations and all. What's the basis for such farm resentment?
Well, Chuck, I suppose the biggest kick has been about the price control program. But even so, the public opinion polls show that only one farmer in 6 is stirred up about that. The second biggest kick is probably dislike of either the AAA or some other of the government farm agencies. But an even smaller minority expresses resentment of these programs. Fact is, farmers generally don't express any great distaste for Washington, in my experience anyway. And not long ago, a Fortune poll asked a cross-section of farmers, would you say that the government farm program has been good or bad for American farming as a whole? About 54% of the farmers said good. 18% said bad, and the remainder were undecided. The Gallup poll showed even more favorable results for the administration. And when a farm magazine polled Iowa farmers on the AAA, it found that 2/3 of the farmers favored that agency.
Here's something a little related, perhaps. Do you think farm people accept the so-called farm bloc as their spokesman? Have they got any beef on that?
Well, no, I don't believe they do accept it. As a matter of fact, I don't think most of them even follow its devious workings. One Nebraska farmer told me, those guys aren't dirt farmers. The only farmers they represent are the big fellas and the packing companies. The little farmers aren't organized. And the big fellas don't care what happens to us.
Well, how about farm organizations like, for instance, the Farm Bureau? Do you think they truly represent farmers?
Well, I suppose they do represent a certain class or group of farmers, mainly the most prosperous third. There's some question in my mind, though, as to whether they represent the views of even that group accurately. Take the question of price control, for instance. A Gallup poll last year asked a cross-section of farmers to define price ceilings. Now, only 3/5 of all farmers could do that. But of those who could, 64% were in favor of price ceilings, and only 18% opposed. However, and this is most important, 56% were in favor of price ceilings even on farm products, a 2-to-1 majority in favor of the government's farm price control program, of this very program to which the farm bloc is so strongly opposed. If the poll were taken again today, the results might be a little different, but I don't think they would be changed very much.
Have you talked to any farmers recently about that?
Well, as a matter of fact, yes, I have. I was up in York, Pennsylvania just a week ago today, and talked to quite a few farmers there. I think their views were pretty representative, too. Take, for example, Irwin Myers, Jr. He's a young man who works on his father's turkey and chicken farm a few miles outside of York. He thinks that ceiling prices are a little too low on certain vegetables, such as the 7-cent ceiling on cabbages. But he says that profits are holding up well as compared to recent years. His main complaint is that they're short the hired hand they normally have. But they're making out all right with all the family pitching in and working extra hard. That last, incidentally, is very typical. I've talked to dozens of farmers who are working 12, 14, even 16 hours a day to keep things running smoothly.
I remember the family has his share of the work, don't they?
Yes, indeed. Then, too, up in York, I had a long talk with Harry Sprinkle, who runs a 127-acre dairy and vegetable farm out near Menges Mill, Pennsylvania. Now, he's growing a lot of canning factory crops this year, especially tomatoes and peas and beans. They're good-paying crops, he told me, and I figure that by growing them, we're helping the war effort. Mr. Sprinkle said he thought the farmer was getting a pretty square deal on the whole. He did complain that the price of feed and supplies seemed to be going up faster than the price of the various crops that he sold. But when I asked him if he would like to see price ceilings removed from farm products, he said most emphatically no. He said if they did that, you know what would happen.
Evidently, he sort of carried out the public opinion poll that only 1 out of 6 farmers were opposed to price ceilings.
Yes, I think he was typical in that respect.
Here's something, Selden, that we may not think about so much these days, but it's in the back of our minds, I'm sure. Do you think farm people are as isolationist as they are usually described?
I certainly don't think that they are. That idea seems to come from the fact that certain of our farm states have been a little more isolationist in their views than the nation as a whole. But Gallup's farm poll showed not very long ago that 77%, more than 3/4 of them, of American farmers favor taking a more active part in world affairs after this war than we did after the last one. Now, that is almost exactly the same percentage as for the nation as a whole. As a matter of fact, most of the farmers to whom I have talked have impressed me as being quite well informed on world affairs. I don't believe they'll want to see this country revert to an ostrich-like policy of isolation when this war is over.
A mighty interesting observation. Well, many thanks to you, Selden, for the visit today. Our guest has been Selden Menifee, author of Assignment USA, published by Raynal and Hitchcock of New York City. Next week on the Country Journal, we'll tell about using the Jeep on the farm after the war. Of all the varied military equipment certain to be available after the fighting stops, it seems that the Jeep has caught most everyone's fancy as a practical, all-around farm chore boy. Tests in the field prove that the Jeep can plow and disc and harrow and do most anything in the way of pulling light machinery and implements. A power takeoff and belt pulley can be easily installed. There'll be nothing handier than a Jeep for getting over rough country and cattle roundup, for instance. And for that matter, it's ideal for getting to town and back with cream cans and eggs and other farm produce, even for taking the family into town on Sunday. The Jeep may be a common sight around the farm in a few years. Next week, too, we'll have a report on plans for getting fullest pork production from limited feed supplies during the coming year. Shortage of feed grains has made it paramount that hog numbers be reduced. On top of that, pork experts hope to encourage greater efficiency in feeding, management, and marketing to get more pork raised and marketed per pound of feed. It's time now for local and regional farm news. Spring farm work is getting off to a slow start this year in most parts of the country. Unusually wet weather has been the chief cause of delay. Farmers report they're as much as 2 and 3 weeks late getting into their field work. Not a great deal of spring planting is done before the 1st of April in northern sections, but as far north as Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, and Nebraska, spring grain planting is being done these days as fast as the weather will permit. Cotton planting has moved as far north as South Carolina now, and even corn has been planted in Tennessee and Kansas and through that area. Areas where spring wheat is usually planted this time of the year have been covered with snow most of March. Excessive rains through much of the corn belt and further east have kept farmers out of the fields most of the time. The extra moisture has been a welcome relief in one sense, though. Last fall's dry spell has been forgotten, and even some of the damaged winter wheat crops in Kansas and Nebraska have improved enough to make a fair crop. Crop reporting authorities figure the moisture supply is normal or above average now in just about all main farming areas. That's a mighty favorable condition for this time of year, even though there's delay in spring work. This spring's work schedule is just about the same as that of a year ago, when cold weather and too much water put farmers 2 and 3 weeks behind normal. But as last year's crops turned out, it didn't make much difference. Yields and production were far above average. A late spring may be more of a problem for dairy farmers. Short feed supplies make an early spring ideal so that stock can be turned on pasture as soon as possible. Wet weather usually means good spring pasture, but if cold weather continues into late spring, that delay in getting cows onto pasture will be a heavy drain on hay and grain feed. One bright spot on the crop outlook picture, southeastern fruit states report heavy blooming and prospects for an excellent crop year. They're just hoping that late frosts don't come along and spoil everything as happened last year. Right now, farm people are giving immediate attention to the business of getting crops in and producing all they can this year, but they're thinking a lot about what farm conditions will be like in the next few years, too. A recent check of farm opinion around the country gives a mighty interesting picture of how farm people feel about the first few years after the war. Here's Lee Hannafy with the highlights of the survey.
Farmers seem to be worried more about prices after the war than anything else. A majority of them feel we'll have as good or better prices as we have today for maybe a couple of years after the fighting stops. But the opinion is almost unanimous that after those 2 years or so, we'll be in for a big slump in farm prices. The main reason for optimism over those first couple of years is the belief that there'll be a strong export demand for farm products. Shipments of food to Europe and other places where war has created an urgent need for extra food. And farmers expect there'll be a strong demand for food here at home, too. Factories will be running at full production to supply consumers with things they haven't been able to get during the war. There'll be full employment, and everyone will be eating well. But when the couple of years of prosperity are gone, farmers are almost completely in agreement that we'll have another depression.
What's the thinking on ways to prevent such a depression? Any suggestions?
Well, farmers seem to be pretty much in favor of some form of government work to take up the slack in employment. It seems agreed that the important thing is to keep everyone working so they'll have money to buy food and clothes. Government programs of road building, soil conservation, public power, public buildings. Those are some of the more common suggestions for keeping down the ranks of unemployed.
What's the feeling on the government helping returning soldiers get started on farms?
Mostly favorable. A good many farmers believe that boys coming home who want to farm and have a reasonable chance to succeed at it should be given financial help and even some homesteading privileges on irrigated or reclaimed land that might be available.
Lee, I think most of all the feeling that farmers have about post-war prices is the most significant. This week when Secretary of Agriculture Claude Wickard called attention to the very serious trend toward a farmland boom, he pointed to the dangers that farmers may be getting into if they expect continued high prices indefinitely and buy land at inflated prices thinking they'll be able to pay for it at present farm prices. The fact that most farmers themselves expect a slump in these farm price levels is argument enough, I should think, that buying land at a high price now is a dangerous business. That land is selling for more and is selling faster these days is an established fact, however. The annual report by the Department of Agriculture on land sales and land value shows that farm real estate values have gone up 15% just in the last year. The present level is 38% above the pre-war average. One of the most interesting features of the report is the fact that a greater increase in the share of farms are being sold to non-farmers these days. A greatly increased number of the farms are resales. People have bought and resold the same farm within a short time. Seems appropriate with Easter just a week away that we at least mention the current surplus of eggs in the country. The spring rush of laying, along with heavy production during the winter, has put so many eggs on the market that market people are having nightmares about omelets, scrambled eggs, and the hard-boiled variety, too. Well, that's all for today. Thanks for listening. Hope you can be with us next week at this same time.
You've been listening to Chuck Worcester with the Columbia Country Journal. Today's broadcast came from Washington. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Good evening, friends. This is your host to welcome you again through the creaking door into the inner sanctum. Come in, come in. I'm enjoying some winter sports with a couple of cold-blooded skates. Personally, I don't mind the low temperature anymore. That's because I wear a snow-faux storm coat. Keeps the cold spirits out. Yes, now I'm just a werewolf in a sheepskin-lined shroud. Oh, him? Now, that's our photographer, Artie. Yes, he just passed out while taking a picture from overexposure. Ready now for our excursion beyond the grave. Let me warn you, we're a bit crowded. You may not be able to get a round-trip ticket. We can accommodate you on the way out, but coming back, you'll have to double up with a corpse. The fog rolls in from the sea and begins to blanket the long, narrow island, which is joined to the Florida mainland by a bridge. In the lone house on the island, two men stand at the window, watching the mist develop into a thick gauze, obscuring the lights on the mainland.
Listen, the fog is getting worse. Look out there. It's
covering everything like a disgusting, evil monster.
It'll lift by morning.
Morning. I may not be here by morning.
What the devil do you mean by that?
I mean, I may not be alive.
What are you
Unless you help me. I asked you out here tonight because I was afraid to be alone.
But you said before that your sister-in-law, Carol, and her husband, what's his name, Everett, would be here.
Yes, Vincent, but you're my friend. You're my closest friend. For the past week, I had a feeling that death was coming here to the island. And then when the fog began to roll in from the sea, I knew it would be tonight.
Arthur, you're not making sense. You've got nothing to worry about. Except for being a little nervous, you're perfectly healthy.
You don't understand, Vincent. Valerie's come back.
Valerie?
Yes, she's here on the island.
For heaven's sake, Arthur, get hold of yourself.
She's here, out there, someplace in that fog.
That's impossible, and you know it. It's been 6 months since your wife Valerie drowned.
They never found her body. It was never washed up on shore.
A drowned body isn't always found.
She never went out on that boat.
Of course she did. It was all settled at the coroner's inquest.
No, there were some things that were never settled.
What do you mean by that?
You know Valerie. You know how strange and moody she was.
Well, a great many people are moody.
No, not like Valerie was. She would prowl this island at night with that cat of hers always following. Everywhere she went, that cat would be with her. And on foggy nights, they'd be gone for hours.
Well, that still doesn't prove that Valerie wasn't on that boat.
Of course it does. Don't you understand? Cats hate water. I begged her many times to go out fishing with me. She'd never step foot in a boat.
Look, this is all just your imagination working overtime.
Oh, innocent. She's come back to kill me. She hated me. From the day we were married, she hated me. On her wedding night, she flew into a rage. She scratched me. Her hand was like a claw, like a cat's claw. And now she's come back to kill me.
You better stop talking that kind of...
disappeared the night Valerie did.
Well, of course it did. It drowned with her.
No. The cat's come back to the island. I heard it at night.
What you heard was probably a stray cat that wandered onto the island across the bridge.
What? Now, I'll get it then. Hello.
Arthur Cameron.
Yes, who's this?
Listen. You have 6 hours to live, Arthur. Just 6 more hours.
It was Valerie. She spoke to me.
What are you talking about?
The cat was with her. She said I had 6 hours to live.
6 hours? Here, let me have that phone.
It's no use. She's hung up.
Well, maybe we can trace the call. Hello? Hello, operator. Operator.
You're going to kill me. You've got to help.
Now, just take it easy, Arthur. I'll get the policeman. Hello, operator. Operator.
What's wrong? Why doesn't she answer?
I think I know why. I'm afraid the wires have been cut. Come on. I'm driving you to the mainland.
Can't you drive faster?
With the fog as thick as it is, Arthur, I'm going faster than I should.
But you've got to get me off the island.
The bridge is just ahead. We'll be on the mainland in a few minutes. Say, I just remembered something.
What?
You said that Valerie's sister Carol and her husband Everett would be out here to visit you tonight.
Yes, but we can't wait for them.
What time did they say they'd be here?
8:30.
Well, it's past that now. They should drive along this road any moment. Maybe we'll meet them in a...
Why did you stop? We can't stay here.
The bridge. If I hadn't stopped quickly enough, we'd both have been killed. This end of the bridge has been washed out.
Vincent, please, let's go back into the house. She's somewhere near us in the fog here. I can feel her.
I'm not going in until I find out where that phone wire was cut. I'm going to splice it together again. It's our only chance of reaching the police.
It's 9 o'clock. An hour has gone by already. And if I'm not out of here by 2 o'clock...
What is it?
Look, you can see it through the fog. There's a strange yellow light down the road.
Why, it's the headlight of a car coming this way.
A car?
Yeah, quick. Behind the house here and stay out of sight. It's turning into the driveway.
How could a car have come onto the island with that bridge washed out?
Be quiet. Somebody's getting out.
They're coming this way. What? It's Carol and Everett. Carol! Everett!
Arthur! What in the deuce are you doing out here in back of the house? You scared me.
Everett, I'm so glad you're here.
What's the matter, Arthur? You acted as if...
I'll tell you in a minute, but how did you get here?
So what's gotten into you?
How did you get on the island?
We drove over the bridge and up the shore road. How else can you get here?
But how could you drive over the bridge? It's been washed out.
Washed out?
I saw it with my own eyes, and Vincent saw it too, didn't you, Vincent?
I certainly did.
Oh, Vincent, I didn't know you were here.
Yes, Everett, and I'm glad I am.
Well, you two must be mistaken. Carol and I drove over that bridge less than 3 minutes ago.
3 minutes, huh?
Why do you say it that way?
Are you sure you haven't been on the island longer than that?
What does he mean?
Hanged if I know.
Some very strange things have been happening. Arthur's life has been threatened.
What?
It's true, by your sister Valerie.
Don't you two know that April Fool's Day is months away?
Joke all you want, Everett, but it's true. Even the telephone wire has been cut. Vincent, the telephone.
Yeah. So the telephone wire's been cut, huh?
You better answer it, Arthur.
I'm almost afraid.
Come on, I'll go in with you. Hurry up.
All right. Hello?
Hello, Arthur.
Valerie?
We're here, Arthur. Listen. It's 9 o'clock, Arthur. You have 5 more hours to live.
This waiting, I can't stand it. Why don't the police come?
Now, take it easy, Arthur. They'll be here. We only phoned them a few minutes ago.
But something might happen before they get here. We can't just sit around waiting for them to arrive.
Of course, it would be difficult to find anybody out there in that fog. But we could look around until the police got here.
No, I'm not going out there. She's waiting for me.
Arthur, please try to understand. It couldn't be Valerie.
You don't know any of you. I can feel it. She's coming closer and closer every minute.
Arthur, you've got nothing to worry about. I've got this gun. And believe me, I won't hesitate to use it.
Vincent, I didn't know you were in the habit of carrying a gun.
I gave it to him, Everett, before you arrived.
What's the matter? Don't you trust me with a gun?
I really don't trust anyone with a gun. Carol, what is...
There was something outside the window. A sort of face.
Carol, please, now don't you get started on this crazy nonsense.
No.
It's just a swirling fog.
No, I saw it. But now it's gone. I could make out the eyes. They were shining like the eyes of a...
Look out! She's here! She's coming for me!
Let's go, Everett. That came from the back of the house.
No, don't leave me.
Carol, you go with Vincent. I'll stay with Arthur.
All right. Vincent! Vincent, wait!
Arthur, I stayed with you because I want to talk about Vincent. I think it was foolish of you to give him that gun.
Vincent's my friend. I trust him.
You shouldn't.
Why do you say that?
Don't you remember how he acted at the coroner's inquest? He testified against you time and again, very subtly, to make them think you were responsible for Valerie's death.
You were wrong. Vincent would have no reason to do
No?
it.
He and Valerie were quite close before you came along, Arthur. Even after you came along.
That isn't true.
He even saw her the night she disappeared.
You don't know what you're saying.
At the inquest, he swore he wasn't on the island that night. But he was. And I can prove it. Here. Look at this.
A cigarette lighter.
Yes, with Vincent's initials on it. You can still see them through the rust.
Where did you get that lighter?
Carol and I found it in the water near the boathouse. I remember the day after Valerie disappeared, Vincent made a remark about losing his lighter. Now, do you still think he's such a friend?
If what you say is true, you and Carol and I have got to stay together until the police get here.
You're sure they're on the way?
Yes, they told me on the phone it would take them less than 15 minutes to get here.
Well, it may not be safe for you to wait for them here. We'll go down to the bridge to meet.
No, I'm not going out in that fog. She's there waiting for me.
Look, Arthur, you've got more to fear from Vincent than anyone.
But don't come on before he returns. All right. We'd better go out through the French windows.
Good idea. Stay close to the house until we get to the garage.
The fog is so thick, I can't see you.
I'm just on the edge of the gravel patch.
Wait, what's wrong?
Arthur, stay where you are.
Where are you?
Something's out here near us.
Don't move.
Just brushed against me.
Oh! Run! Run! Here
Kitty, Kitty, Kitty. Don't go away, Kitty. We need you for a couple of more murders. Everett's dead, you know. That's what he gets for letting a black cat cross his throat. Say, how do you like that Valerie? She's some wife, huh? Nagging her husband right to the grave. The same one she's in. Well, Valerie saw about that last phone call she made. The operator said to her, 5 cents for the next 5 murders, please. Now let's get back to our frightened friends on that Florida island.
She meant to kill me, Carol. She mistook Everett for me.
Arthur, please. How is he, Vincent?
He's dead.
Oh, no. Everett.
It's as if his throat was torn open by a wild animal.
I told you she was more animal than human. She and that cat, they were in here.
Carol, you'd better not touch the body.
Oh, leave me alone. You've done it up already.
What's that supposed to mean?
You know exactly what it means, Vincent. And when the police come, I'm going to tell them how you ran away from me out there in the fog.
I didn't run away from you. I thought you were behind me when I came back to the house.
You're lying.
Just a moment, Carol.
What is it?
The cigarette lighter that Everett had in his hand, it's missing.
What cigarette lighter?
You know the one I mean. The one that was found in the water near the boathouse.
I haven't the faintest idea of what you're talking about.
I have. Arthur, you'd better search him.
Now, look here.
If you're as innocent as you claim to be, Vincent, you shouldn't mind.
All right, then go ahead and search.
I will after I make this call.
Whom you calling?
The police. Can't understand why they haven't gotten here yet. It's almost 10 o'clock.
Hello.
Hello, operator. Will you please connect me with police headquarters and hurry?
Do you think you've been calling the police department all this time, Arthur? Yes. Valerie. We're still here. It's 10 o'clock, Arthur. You have just 4 more hours.
Arthur, where's Vincent?
I just left him. Carol, did you know about him and Valerie?
Well, yes, Arthur.
Why didn't you tell me?
Well, I wanted to. But after all, she was my sister.
We'll have to get away from him.
Yes. Well, suppose we tell him that we're going for the police. He can't have any objection to that.
But suppose he wants to come with us in the car.
Well, somebody has to stay here with Everett's body.
Well, do you think it's safe to leave him here? If he killed Everett, he'll have a chance to destroy any evidence.
We can't help that. It's safer to leave him here than to take him with us. He still has that gun of yours.
That's right, I have.
Vincent.
Forgive me for disturbing you, too.
I thought you were supposed to be outside.
I was outside for a while. But I saw somebody moving around in the other room, so I came back. When I got to the other room, I found Everett's body missing.
What? Gone? Everett's body is gone?
Vincent, you were in that room before alone.
So was Carol after I left. Weren't you, Carol?
Oh, I don't remember. I may have been.
You were there alone, Carol. I remember.
Arthur, you walked with me to the front door. When I left the house, the body was still there. After that, I don't know what happened. But perhaps Carol does.
What are you driving
What
at?
do you think I'm driving
You
at?
mean that I did something with Everett's body?
Draw your own conclusions. I've drawn mine.
How dare you imply such things? I won't listen to another word of such talk. Not another word.
Well, Arthur, what do you think?
I don't know what to... I'm going out of my mind. I don't know where to turn, who to trust.
You can trust me.
I wish I was sure that I could.
Oh, of course you can. Now, come here, Arthur. Don't you see? The one who hopes to kill you is trying to break you down first. Now, for your own sake, you mustn't give in. I don't know who's behind all this, but I do know this. It's all part of a plan to destroy you little by little. Don't you see that now?
Nothing makes sense.
Now, you listen to me, Arthur, and listen to me well, because there isn't a great deal of time left. We've got to get away from Carol while there's still time, while she's not here.
Why?
Can't you see she's trying to kill you?
Why?
Yes, don't be a fool. Carol is the one who lied to you. She and Everett both. They intended to murder you, but in the darkness and the fog, Carol made a fatal mistake. She thought it was you she was killing, not Everett.
No, that was Valerie in the room. A human animal was there. You saw the claw marks on Everett's throat.
That could be accomplished with an iron claw. Valerie is dead.
What makes you so sure of
Because
that?
I know she's dead. They never drove across that bridge at 9 tonight. They've been here on the island all evening.
How do you know that?
I know that because we saw that bridge with our own eyes. And I saw it again just 10 minutes ago. It's still down.
You're just saying that.
Come on with me, Arthur, and you'll see for yourself.
No, you're trying to get me out of the house, out into that fog where Valerie...
Will you stop being an idiot? Here. Take this gun.
That'll make you feel any better. Take it and hold it in my back while we're outside. Now, let's get away from Carol while there's still a chance.
All right. Give me the gun.
Here.
Now, keep in front of me all the time. And I'm warning you, if you make one false move, I'll kill you.
You see? Carol and Everett were lying to us. The bridge is still down.
You're right, Vincent. They couldn't have come across that bridge.
Of course not. The only trouble is we can't get back over it now either.
But we've got to get off this island somehow.
Wait a minute. I should have thought of it before. Your boat.
I sold the motorboat after the accident.
Well, what about a rowboat?
There's still one of those down at the boathouse at the other end of the island.
Good. Then we can row over to the mainland.
Yes, of course. Come on.
Wait a minute. Where are you going?
Back to the house for the car.
Don't be ridiculous. We can't go back there now. We gotta walk.
All right, along the beach here.
Gotta walk faster than that, Arthur.
Vincent, I have a feeling we're being followed.
Just your imagination. Who could see us in this fog?
But I tell you that we are being followed. I told you. Look behind us.
Yes, I can see it now. It's a cat.
And there's a woman with it. Valerie!
We've lost them, Arthur.
They can't be far behind.
Doesn't make any difference now. There's the boathouse just ahead.
The boat! It's not at the land.
Well, it must be. You can't see it because of the fog.
I can see it isn't there.
All right, then we'll hide in the boathouse till morning.
You can't hide from the dead.
Oh, will you please stop that nonsense? We're dealing with somebody very much alive. You've still got that gun.
You can't harm the dead with a gun.
Come on, we're going inside. The door's locked.
I didn't lock it. This boathouse has never been locked before.
All right, wait here. I'll break through the window and come around through the inside. There, just wait for me and I'll lock the door.
They're coming, Vincent! Hurry, hurry!
Now, come on inside, Arthur. Better lock the door.
Yes.
Arthur, we're in luck. There's a phone here.
Oh, that's right, I forgot.
Maybe it hasn't been disconnected like the other one.
I'll try it. Hello. Hello, operator.
Hello, Arthur. It's 11 o'clock, Arthur. Just 3 more hours.
Quarter to 2, Arthur. You can't stay here another minute.
And I can't run away any longer. Where would I go? Where would I hide? If she's going to kill me, let her come and do it.
You've still got 15 minutes.
Oh, my time's run out now.
Well, I wanted to help you save yourself, but you wouldn't let me. I'm not going to stay here another second.
Vincent!
This is your last chance. Do you want to make a run for it with me?
I told you it was no use.
All right, then there's nothing more I can do. Goodbye.
Yes, Arthur. I've come for you.
Valerie, please.
You know why I've come, don't you?
Please, don't come any closer.
You hated me so much. Couldn't even wait until death came to me naturally. You knew how much I hated water. How much I was afraid of.
Stand where you are. Don't come another step.
You despised me because your bullets can't harm me. There's no way you can harm me anymore because I am dead. But I can harm you.
Valerie. Valerie, forgive me. Valerie, please forgive me. I was sorry as soon as I threw you off the boat, but it was too late. I dived into the water to find you, but I couldn't. I tried until my lungs almost burst. Please, please forgive me.
Why didn't you tell the police?
I wanted to live. Well, now it doesn't make any difference.
You're wrong about that, Arthur.
Vincent!
It makes a big difference to us.
What are you doing back here?
I was listening outside to your confession.
Confession?
Thank you, Miss Mason. That'll be all.
Yes, sir.
Miss Mason.
The fog outside and this dim light in here helped her disguise.
And it wasn't Valerie.
How could it be? Valerie's dead, isn't she? And the dead can't really return.
But Everett, who killed him?
Everett? Everett's alive.
Very much alive, Arthur.
What?
It wasn't hard for me to pretend being dead with Vincent and Carol keeping you away from my body.
And you, all of you worked
in on this together. Yes. The police couldn't help us because Valerie's body was never found. But we knew you had killed her. We just had to wait for the chance to prove it.
And now you have my confession.
Come on, Arthur.
Wait a minute, Everett. Hello? Hello, Bennett. It's all over. Yeah. You can hook up the wires again. And Bennett, you'd better get to work on that bridge right away. We're making a trip to the mainland.
It's an outrage. All those juicy chances for murder and not one drop of blood spilled. Well, I guess that's the way it is some nights. You just can't lay away a corpuscle. And that Valerie, what a judge she turned out to be. Didn't even have enough courage to step out of her grave. Confidentially, though, the reason is Valerie doesn't like to be seen in shrouds. Oh, no, there's no moral to this story. Just the ugly fact that when you're dead, brother, you're dead.
Sanctum was heard in the United States over CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System, and has been rebroadcast for servicemen and women overseas. This is the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.
Tonight and every Sunday night at this time, the Columbia Broadcasting System presents Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater in a special series of broadcasts about the other Americas.
Hello, Americans. This is Orson Welles. Last week, our alphabet of the islands brought us to the letter S. To slavery, the story of Abednego, the slave. Our scene is a fort, a ring of stone on a promontory of one of the islands. A powder magazine, gunpowder, and 400 desperate Negroes. Abednego, the slave, stands before them.
My brothers, fellows in arms, my comrades, I do not like this thing you are to do. I do not like it. I wish I had the words to change your heart. Better than some of you, I know what it is to be free. I was born free in Africa. Who here remembers Africa? They came for us by night, the slavers. Who here remembers such a night? They burned our village, and when they captured us, they chained us together. How many here remember the Barracoon? How many remember the slave ship? 90 days, 100 days. We were the cargo, jammed in huddled packs like fish in buckets. From main deck to the bilge, choking layers between decks. How many remember? How many remember the auction block?
Hear ye, gentlemen of Jamaica, planters and dealers, citizens of Kingston, a public auction before the Palace of Justice. Entire cargoes of brigantine Madonna Celeste, Barkentine, Trinidad and Los Angeles, 2,000 slaves, strong men, strong women,
What my people? And the Homium, strong as gorillas, clever as advocates, all docile, tractable, amiable, and healthy specimens. These 10 men weigh 2,000 pounds, gentlemen. What am I bid for these beautiful machines?
1,000 guineas.
Gentlemen, this isn't meat for your table. This flesh is living. 2,000 pounds of men. I have 1,000 guineas. Do I have two? 1,600. Do I have 17? Thank you. 18. 2,000.
Who can forget the slave block? My brothers, I do not ask you to forget the slave block. I ask you to live and remember it. I will tell you my story. I was lucky. I was sold as a houseboy.
I have one left, gentlemen. One left in this lot. Here's a nice boy servant, gentlemen. This one is a Swahili, intelligent and beautiful. A 12-year-old, good teeth and strong.
25 guineas.
25 guineas. Gentlemen. 40.
50. 55.
Do I hear 60? 60 guineas?
60.
60, make it 70. Make it 70. No. 60 guineas once. Twice. Sold to Sir Barnaby Finch, item 86, 23 Congos, all...
Don't be frightened, boy. Speak up. What's your name?
Abednego.
Oh, the last one out of the fiery furnace, eh? Abednego. Splendid name, splendid. Well, come along, boy. We'll fit you out with clothing suitable for a gentleman's boy. Blue trousers and a white sash and a red jacket and a red cap for your head. Don't understand what I'm saying, do you, boy? Not a word. Well, we'll soon remedy that. Look, you, Abednego, me, master. Now, who am I?
Master.
Splendid. Capital. Magnificent. Abednego.
Yes, master.
Do you know what day this is?
Friday, master.
Splendid. You know what Friday?
No, master.
This is a very particular Friday, boy. This is your birthday. In any case, the birthday was decided upon. It was with me 2 years today.
Yes, master.
I wonder, do you recollect 2 years ago when I bought you?
Yes, master.
Well. Run in the kitchen now and fix me a glass of punch.
Yes,
Use our secret recipe.
Yes, master.
You didn't know a word of English, now look at you.
Yes, master.
Make the best rum punches in the islands, I'll tell you that. Hurry along now, pitter-patter. When you're done, there's a sweet cake for you. Big piece of it for your birthday.
Thank you, master.
Mind, bring my drink first. This heat is perishing. Send a yard boy and pull the fan. You can do what you like the rest of the day. I'll not require you. This is your birthday. You can have your cake and eat it too. Abednego, fetch me my rug and see it's cold. Good enough. I don't tuck it in, just loosely over my lap. Now, you can sit down at my feet and tell me what you think of the voyage. Well?
Master, who lives on this island we are going to?
The French. French people.
Master, what are French people like?
Oh, there's a poser. From the soul. Confidentially, they're a race of barbarians. Their cooking's good. Sauce a bit too peppery, though, for my taste. Too peppery.
Master, are there black people on this island?
Oh, yes, indeed, Abednego. They're dark and comely. Oh, ye daughters of Jerusalem, look not upon them, for the sun has looked upon them. That's from the Song of Solomon, Abednego. Didn't forget to read a chapter of the Bible this morning.
Yes, Master.
Where are we now?
The Book of Ruth, Master.
Capital, splendid. Now, quote me a verse from the Book of Ruth.
Wheresoever thou goest, I go. Whatsoever thou doest, I do. Thy people shall be my people, and thy gods my gods.
Marvelous! Run along the galley now. Fetch some hot water and a nice strongish noggin of hot water.
Yes, Master.
Abednego, remember a pinch of ginger and a touch of citron.
Yes, Master.
You hurry, I'll leave a good full inch at the bottom of the glass. What?
My brothers, you will say that I have not known slavery with such a master. It is so that I loved him, having no father. I tell you all these things truly. I would have you believe what I tell you, and learn what I have learned.
Coachman!
Yes, monsieur?
Is this the hotel?
Yes, monsieur.
Well, sounds like a merry evening. What a Abednego.
Yes, master.
Well. Stay here with the carriage now. Don't go off and leave these light-fingered rascals to make away with me rug, mind?
Yes, master.
You, coachman, you too.
Yes, monsieur.
I should expect to find you on this spot when I come out. Wait patiently, both of you. Quite pleasant to do, I will say. All that pretty ballad music for entertainment. Be a good boy now, Abednego. And who knows? I shall send you out some goodies.
Yes, master.
Abednego. That is your name, lad?
Yes, Monsieur Coachman.
What does your name mean?
A king in the Bible put Abednego in a furnace, but the furnace did not kill Abednego.
Abednego is a good name. Where do you live?
I am the property of Sir Barnaby Finch.
Your master is English.
God save the king.
Do you know what a king is?
A king is a kind white man, like my master. It is because of the king that we have houses to live in, and fine clothes to wear, and good things to eat.
The king who gives us those things is up there.
God?
Yes.
But God is a dead man.
Who told you God was dead?
I read books. They killed him with a spear and nailed him to a cross. They call it crucify.
God is not dead.
Is this the coachman of Sir Barnaby Finch?
Yes, Henri.
Yeah. So it's your coach the Englishman hired. I am set out here with sweet cakes for his monkey.
I'm not a monkey.
No? You do tricks for cake, do you not?
He's only a child.
He's big enough to swing a machete.
Softly, softly.
He's big enough to hold a torch.
You are loud enough to bring the gendarme.
My blood burns my skin. Bowing and scraping in there. Simpering for green centimes. Hear them dance? Hear that pale, thin music? They'll dance faster when the rudder drums begin to sing.
You say too much before the boy.
Boy, your master's name is Barnaby, no?
Yes, sir. It is Sir Barnaby Finch.
I don't like sir. Just Barnaby. Say it, lad. Leave off the sir. Go on.
Barnaby.
What's yours?
Abednego.
Now say Barnaby and Abednego. And then say Abednego and Barnaby. Say it.
Barnaby and Abednego. Abednego and Barnaby.
Look. The stars are still in the sky. The heavens did not fall. Now think about that. Often. There's a little thought I have given you. And when you are wiser, remember who gave you that thought. An unknown waiter. A poor, humble black man named Christophe. Henri Christophe.
You should go back to your work, Henri. Eat your sweet cakes, lad.
I do not want to eat the sweet cakes. I do not like to be a monkey and do tricks for sweet cakes. I shall throw them on the ground.
You eat the cakes, lad.
What?
You eat the cakes, you hear me? Eat them. They will make you strong. You will prove nothing by going hungry. Remember that, lad. You will prove nothing. When you grow and become wise, remember that. You will prove nothing by dying unless you die fighting.
Yes, my brothers. When he was a waiter, I met Henri Christophe of Haiti. And Pierre Breda, the coachman who spoke to me, is now called Toussaint Louverture. He is a great man. I was a child then, but he taught me much. Much I have passed on to you. Much I would that he could tell you now.
Do the slaves on your island speak that word among themselves?
What word?
Freedom.
In the dark, sometimes, when no white ones can hear.
Do they wrap machetes in oiled clothes and bury them against the day?
No.
Do they steal gunpowder and pistols and hide them against the time?
I do not think so.
Your place is on your island. There you can help all of us. Go back with your master. Grow strong and wise. Go back to your home and tell our people there what we are doing here.
That you are hiding swords and pistols?
Yes. Tell them that. Tell your people about freedom. Tell them to fight for it. But tell them not to fight until they can win.
Those are his words to you, my comrades. The words of Toussaint Louverture. I will tell you the rest of my story.
Abednego!
More bad news, Sir Barnaby. The Barrett plantation in the south, troops had to shoot 16 more slaves.
16? Frightful loss. Abednego!
Coming, Master.
Revolution's spreading like a pest. It's that blasted mess in Haiti started it. Toussaint Louverture and Christo. The thing's infectious.
Barbarous place, Haiti. I've been there. Food's good, though. Sauce a little bit too peppery for my taste. It's too peppery. These gentlemen are thirsty, boy. Our secret recipe.
Yes, Master.
Rum punch all around.
Yes, Master.
My most precious possession. A jewel, gentlemen. Shining black diamond in the rough. It reminds me, you know, I can pick up a likely Swahili wench. Then he goes old enough now to have a wife. Something around 16, 17 years.
Well, you don't propose to breed Swahili to Swahili.
Why not? Breed to line for brains, I say.
Yes, if you're breeding for carpenters or smiths, but it's better to breed hot blood to cold.
I have a good Swahili wench.
Oh, here's our drink. Drink heavy.
Ganny, medium self-approval below.
I can let you have that wench of mine for 1.8.
Not likely, old boy. You take me for a mark. I know you're Swahili. She's 22 at the least and scurfy. Look at mine, gentlemen. Surely he deserves the best of mates. Abednego, keeper of the keys, custodian of the scullery, handmaiden of my bath, valet of my chamber, ever faithful, patient listener to every vagrant thought. The one creature in the world who never criticizes me, even in the privacy of his thoughts. And do you, Abednego?
No, Master.
Splendid. Capital. Now, Humberton, my boy gets better than that wench of yours. There'll be no scurfy brides for my Abednego. Huh? Who's there? Who's there? Oh, Abednego. You startled me. Abednego, what's the meaning of this? It's 8 o'clock. Do you realize I've not had my supper? There's not a servant in the house. Where's Roy? Where's Mingo? Where's Desi? Where are the field hands? What's happened to my slaves?
You have no more slaves.
Where are they?
They have joined the others in the hills.
Insurrection.
Everybody here now, Abednego. We ready.
Ready for what, you hulking ape? What's he talking about? What do you mean, Abednego?
No, Mingo.
All right. We set fire to this whole plantation. Then he know what we mean.
There will be no burning. Go out to the tool rooms. Get machetes and axes. You hear me, Mingo?
Yes, Abednego.
Abednego. Don't they know how many regiments are here on this island? Oh, fools. Do they think we have known for months about their silly plots? Go out there and tell those people to come back home where they belong. Abednego, you don't want to see them killed, do you?
I don't want anybody killed. Not anybody.
What do you mean by that?
A horse is saddled, waiting at the north gate. If you leave now, by the back, you might make it.
You think I'm going to run away from my own house? Abednego.
Yes.
Are you with me? Are you with them? Of course you are. You're like my son. You're a houseboy. You aren't a brute from the field. You're my boy. You belong to me.
No. I do not belong to you.
I have a gun, boy. I could blow your head off. I have a horsewhip. You know I wouldn't use it, Abednego. Not on you. I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to sit down here, wait for the soldiers. You're going back to the kitchen. Make me a rum punch. Go on, boy.
You must leave now, Sir Barnaby. Quick, I hear them coming.
Now stay here, boy. Now, back up against that wall.
Put down that pistol, white man.
Mingo, you fool! Don't you!
No!
Get out of here. All of you, get out. Go to the place I've told you and wait for me.
Make haste, Abednego. Soldiers coming here. Get
out.
Abednego!
Yes, sir.
I'm bleeding. Bleeding inside, Abednego. Oh, you've been slipping out into the hills at night with the rest of them. And you're just like the others.
We're all slaves.
I've always been kind to you.
You did the best you know.
Abednego, I'm cold. Fetch me a drink. A little glass of hot warmer. A secret recipe. Be quick now. And I'll leave an inch in the bottom of the glass. Bottom of it.
My brothers, fellows in arms, my comrades, you have said that I leave you because I go back to a kind master. He is dead. I leave you
Because I do not like what you are going to do.
Abednego, we have no army. 400 are we, and 4,000 soldiers hunting us. What chances are machetes against their muskets?
None. No chance at all. That is why I tell you now to hide your machetes. Wrap them in oilcloth and bury them. This that you do will prove nothing. Those are his words. The words of Toussaint Louverture. You will prove nothing by dying, unless you die fighting. Be of good heart, my brothers. Live and grow strong. And someday, all the world will be free.
Well, old Finch's place doesn't seem to have been much hurt by the insurrection.
No, everything's about the same. I must say I'm glad I took it on. It's pleasant here.
Any truth in that report from the north?
What's that?
It seems what was left of them, 400 runaways or so, barricaded themselves in the old Spanish fort, touched off some gunpowder and blew themselves up. Oh, here come the drinks, thank heavens.
Still the best rum punchers in the island. My boy here has a secret formula that even I don't know. Isn't that right, Abednego?
Yes, Master.
Well, that was the story of Abednego, the slave. We come now in our alphabet of the islands, in our ABCs of the Caribbean, to the letter T. T is for Tabasco. Little of it goes a long way. T is for tourists and the tourist trade in tired feet. U is for union, in which there is strength. Likewise, unions. U is for the United Nations. And V is for victory. V is also for Vespucci, Americus Vespucci, who autographed a map and so named a hemisphere. And V is for volcanoes. May they rest in peace. Volcanoes have been generally kind to the human race in the West Indies. The exception was Montpellier. In 1902, Saint-Pierre was the chief city of the island of Martinique. On May 7th, a great thundering was heard from the core of the volcano. But nobody was worried. Pele was harmless. Place for picnics. What? There was even a little lake on its top, and here's what the Saint-Pierre newspaper had to say about it.
Montpellier has released its orders. The volcano will henceforth remain indefinitely at peace.
The next morning, just as the clock in the cathedral pointed to 7:43, a gentleman in Fort de France on the other side of the island put in a call to a relative in Saint-Pierre.
Monsieur, nothing is amiss. Montpellier is quiet. There is nothing to be feared. It is a beautiful day.
Hello? 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 An instant before, the minute hand on the cathedral clock had reached 7:44. Now there was no clock, no town. 40,000 people were dead. The whole population of the city. The ships in the bay were sunk. One survived, but the men on its decks were roasted alive. An officer lived to tell what he had seen. The whole side of the volcano had burst open without warning in a storm of living flame. A single man in the entire city was spared. He was a criminal in the dungeon of the jail. You know the moral of this story? I don't. W. W is for work and for workers.
X. X is for Xmas. Y is for Yuletide. Christmas, no matter how you say it. No matter how you keep it, Christmas. They have many ways of keeping Christmas in the islands. In all the Americas, we celebrate our greatest holiday with observances, each different from the other, all identical in spirit. Next week, this program celebrates America's celebrations. For now, we must wind up our ABCs of the Caribbean with the letter Z. Z is for everything in the alphabet we didn't have time for. Anything we forgot, everything we left out. Goodbye now. Feliz Navidad. Boas festas. Merry Christmas to all. And good night, Americans.
This has been the sixth in a series of programs about the other Americas in which the Columbia Broadcasting System is presenting Orson Welles and the Mercury Theater. The Columbia Broadcasting System is the originator of South America's network of stations, La Cadena de las Americas. In the Southern Hemisphere, as well as in this hemisphere, CBS provides daily programs of news, entertainment, and recreation to bring about a closer understanding among Americans everywhere. Next week, the seventh in this series, will be brought to you by Orson Welles, who recently returned from an 8-month visit to the Latin American countries for the office of the Coordinator of Inter-American Affairs. In the cast tonight, Ted Reed played Abednego, Norman Field played Toussaint Louverture, Gerald Moore was Henri Christophe, and Sir Barnaby Finch was played by Orson Welles, who produced the show and wrote the script with John Tucker Battle. Original music was written by Lucien Moraweck, and the orchestra was conducted by Lud Gluskin. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.